Welcome to Laurence Plays Factorio, Space Exploration with Krastorio². The story so far, we found ourselves stranded on a strange planet inhabited by vicious insects. But undeterred, we plundered the planet of its resources. After lengthy construction, which was strangely harder than expected, we managed to build a rocket and leave the planet. An abandoned space station provided a nice starting point for our continued research. Specks in the sky became planets, with exotic materials to learn. Join us on Monday for the next chapter in our bid to grow the factory even further. The factory must grow.
Hello everyone, welcome back, and it's been a couple of weeks, so we're going to be playing the What on Earth Are We Doing Here? But I'll give you a clue. We're going to be starting off by playing some Factorio space exploration with Krastorio². But exactly how that goes, well, it remains to be seen, because there's various new things to look at. The most exciting of those is this space elevator over here, and there's some rails doing funny things around it as well now. So yes, we will eventually get this space elevator up and running, and we'll start transporting stuff around.
I thought you were playing Minecraft. What is this?
It's very similar to Minecraft, just with one of the dimensions missing, and a bit more performance. So hello everyone, hello Nogard, Mitchell, Johan.
Draw your attention to the upper right hand side of your screen.
What's happening on the right hand side of my screen?
Where it says
Lack of
UPS
performance.
36?
Oh, 36 UPS. Okay. Yeah, but it's still running better than a Minecraft build of this size would. I thank you for whoever. Marc, thank you for the resub, much appreciated. What I was going to say is I've actually tried out of curiosity, but to see if it makes things any better, I've decided to start streaming at a higher resolution. So because then the computer doesn't have to do the what's naming of it. So let's have a little game of how high can we push the frame rate before Laurence starts to cry. Well, before I start doing anything too serious. So we get 38, 39, 40, 41. Seems to still be happy.
Are space train power packs on the?
That belt's running up the middle.
And you can dump. Oh no, that's gone too. Oh no, maybe not. That seems to be holding at 43. Yes, there's a belt comes all the way up the middle to here, and then you can dump the dead ones onto the scrap belt as usual. Yes, audio is actually out of sync locally as well, which is quite an achievement. I tried putting on what I know what this will be. I put on a filter earlier because people were complaining there was too much. There's too much echo and stuff, so I thought I'd turn on a filter on here. Let's get rid of that. Boom. There. That should now be better. Nope, it's even worse. Oh dear. I don't know how to fix that now. Unless the computer's really struggling. Yeah, that is. Yeah, my visual, my local repeater of my webcam looks to be somewhat behind, and it's quite distracting when I look over at it. That's probably about a second behind. Oh dear. Okay. Yeah, it's out of sync locally, which is quite impressive. Oh, that might be the webcam. Actually, it's the webcam that's delayed, not the. That's weird. Is that better? No. Oh dear. I don't know. I'll tell you what, shall I just turn it off? And there we go. Then it's not going to be much less distracting. I don't want to.
It's a simple solution.
It is. It's very simple and straightforward, and it seems to be the best thing I can do at the moment. Right. Let's actually start playing Factorio rather than just sort of arguing with what's going on here. Oh, I think you might have found the oh no, maybe 43 frames per second is okay. I thought I saw a bit of a glut and a glug and it struggle and yeah, words. Right. Yeah, better to remove the distraction. So, right, we were talking about scrap recycling. So we have an awful lot of it coming in at the moment, as you can see here. By the way, these belts are all full because, well, Mike is producing lots of it as part of the material science. Now there are various possibilities for sorting this out, ranging from just shove it in a train and send it down to planet side and reprocess it there, which we may well end up doing because we think we might be able to get it down. We can set up more processing down there, and then reprocessing all of the ores and things that come out of it we can do much more efficiently down there because we can use productivity modules, more advanced setups and all that sort of thing. So that might be worthwhile. I have been informed that you can't put productivity modules into a recycling facility. I can't tell from up here because we're in space, but it is in space, so it won't tell me. But apparently you can't put productivities in these machines for dealing with the scrap, which is unfortunate. But even so, sorting it out on the planet might still be a help. The thing is, scrap stacks up to 50 over here, and then that turns into about half of a thing. There's actually about a third of a solid and a little bit of liquid. So instead, what we might be better off doing is shipping the ore down, because ore stacks up to 50 as well, I think. But you'll get about 3 times as much. One stack of scrap or 3 stacks of scrap will turn into about a stack of iron, a stack of copper, and a stack of stone, roughly. Yeah, and a little bit of heavy metals as well. So you're going to have less stuff to transport if you process the scrap first and then chuck it in a train. That said, with a space elevator, you can put lots and lots of stuff in trains and just send it down and see how it goes. Right, hello Tack, welcome. I hope you enjoyed your chicken, or your chickek. So yeah, there's a little bit of debate there over whether it's actually worth sending the scrap down as scrap or whether we should process it to ores first. We shall decide at some point. We also need cryonite over here because I was trying. Oh yes, for this system setup over here, I needed to get cryonite slush into this station, which means I need cryonite over here, and we don't have any of that because the supply at the other end is insufficient. But Tristan's off working on that one, so eventually that'll start working again. I made, as I discussed before, a bit of a mess of the batteries over here. Like so this kind of needs sorting out. I might go in there and start fiddling with this because that seems like a low level, isn't going to require too much thinking, and I might be able to do that. Oh no, I think you might need to slow the game down a little bit more, Tristan. Actually, I'm
no worries.
Getting 20 frames per second. That's getting smoother.
Okay, let me know how that is.
I'll give it a moment to catch up. I think maybe if I zoom in, it'll make it easier for it to catch up. Or maybe it won't. Maybe no. That seems. It's still a little struggling.
If I'm limiting to faster than my PC can run it at, then it won't necessarily be obvious.
That's now fine.
Okay.
Okay. Good. So, right. So over here, yes, that we have this issue with trains where they come in and they need to have batteries put into them to keep the trains going, and they need to have dead batteries taken out of them to stop the trains just filling up with dead batteries. And when I built this area, I didn't really think it all the way through, so we've got some problems. Now let's just make sure. So up here we're fine. We've got the batteries being put in here. We've got the dead ones being taken out here. Same over this side. All of these ones are fine. So it's just down here. Woo. Okay, maybe I'm not fine at that number of frames per second. Or that game speed. Could you slow it down a tiny bit more, please? 0.7 will probably be okay. So down here, let's put in one of the ludicrously big pylons first, but just to give power to absolutely everything around here, because I can't be bothered to try and I can't be bothered to faff around with anything else, to be honest. So we'll put that there. So here we have new batteries being brought in across this way, fed into the locomotive that would be here if one actually was here, and into this one. So those two are okay. We now need to take the dead batteries back out, which I haven't left room for. So I'm going to need to redesign this bit a little bit. Like that. Put that there. Yeah, and then another one there and another one there like that. Then we can have the belt for the dead batteries coming across like this. Which is the disposal belt at the moment? Is it this one? Yes, it is. So I need to feed them into here. Oh, that's going to be awkward. I can bring it across here like this and then go down through there. Hello, Persistent. Welcome. And Clown as well. And Madman. Welcome to all of you.
Evening all.
I'm inclined to agree with Clown's suggestion for the scrap, by the way.
So have an emergency overflow for it that takes it down to planet side. Yeah, that's certainly a possibility.
So we send down the ores by default, but then if there's too much scrap.
Yeah. Although if there's too much scrap, we could just put in more processing for it up here as well. So
True.
Yeah, I think that's probably not worth it because it's a lot of extra thought and systems and stuff for a case that shouldn't happen and can be dealt with up here if it does. Right, so that's those two stations done. Now there's this one. This one's also going to be tricky because this pipe is in the way. But I can replace some of this with underground pipes, and that'll give me room to do some useful things. Get the pipes through here. So I'll get rid of that. Put that there. And then can I stick a 5 in there? I probably can. Yes, like that. And then, okay, so this side is easy. I do that and that, and that'll allow both of these to be. That'll allow. Oh no! Don't do that. If the game would do it properly, like that. We can now use this to feed good batteries into the loco from here, bad ones out here. So that's now sorted. Locomotive at the other end, a bit harder. We should have a turning round system for every train gets turned round in a little turny roundy station between on every journey, so that so you get a chance to use both of the so you can charge up both batteries by or both locomotives on every route. That's an awful idea. I'm not seriously suggesting that, but so I need to get batteries over here and duff ones back out again. This part getting them in can be done like this. This feels kind of horrible, to be honest, but I think it's sort of reasonable. It's only medium level. It's only acceptable levels of horrible. And then coming out over this way like that. The problem is over here.
Easy to insert them at the top.
There's a bit of a stuff in the way up here, like these tanks and things.
No, I mean put them onto the belt at the top.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, alright, that's a good idea actually. Yes, I approve of that. Yeah, let's do that. That'll be much easier. So we were talking about we're talking about scripting. We considered sending scrap down to be reprocessed on Norvis, but apparently processing scrap on Norvis doesn't get you any productivity bonuses, so there's not really any point. That said, there is point in shipping down the products of the scrap to be recooked back into iron and copper and so on, and so that we are seriously considering doing. We can go and have a look at the nuclear power plant in a minute, Keeg. At the moment, I'm trying to sort my trains out. I can do basically the same thing down here as well. That's not going to be too bad. So put that there, and then we can have another split coming off here. Oh, wait, it's this one. Another split coming off here. Can I do that? I can do that, and it won't break. Lovely. goes like that, and then from here we can then feed the new batteries in like that. Old batteries out there. Pass this round here. Oh, actually that wants to go in there. Probably should have brought it across. I could have brought it across one level higher actually. It would have had to go underneath this though, but yeah, it doesn't really matter either way. Okay, so that's that one done. This is actually proving not to be as awkward as I was expecting it to be. I had horrible visions of it being significantly more complicated than this, but actually this isn't too bad. Oh, now there's a roboport in the way. I spoke too soon. Here, actually, this one. Let's bring those out here like that. Oh wait, no, that goes. Did I? I didn't do. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Right, take those out like that. Okay.
Tristan, can I use fully charged batteries, train batteries on the disposal belt? Just a few?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, don't put loads on, but...
No, just from my inventory I accidentally picked up.
Yes, they get pulled out.
Okay.
I might do the same then in a few minutes. Right, so down here we have the same sort of shenaniganery. We'll move that one down like that, and then we can have an out and in there and out there, and that also would be an underground. We'll move this roboport in a moment, I suspect, because I think there are more trains, more stations further down. I don't know. I'd say it is. It depends what you mean by not worth it, Madman. I mean, you might as well, because you're going to have trains going. We reckon since you're going to have trains going down anyway, why not have them carrying some spare stuff with them, basically, and then reprocess it down on Norvis, and you'll get a bit more out. Yeah, it's not going to be enormous, crazy amounts, but it's enough that you might as well just try and be efficient.
Also, just the principle of it.
Yeah, also that to an extent. There we go. Right, so that'll deal with the batteries from there. Will I do another tutorial on automatic cargo rocket addressing how to request resources when a resource runs low? I probably know, because the ones I've done already does that, or at least the interplanetary logistics one does that. So what we have over here, blimey, that's a lot of solar panels heading over. Where are they all coming from? A rocket must have just brought them all back up again. Yeah, so what we've got going on here is we have a shopping list of all the things we want to have. So, for example, we want to always have at least 5,000 coal. So it says minus 5,000 on there. That is connected. In theory, it should be connected using the logistics network, but I set this up without thinking that all the way through. So, so it's connected with cables. But somewhere down here, there will be the chest the warehouse that holds all of the coal. That will be the number in that warehouse will be added to the minus 5,000 here. And so if there's a shortage of any amount of coal, then we'll always be sending that down to Norvis as a negative number. Down on Norvis, which is this one. We are then monitoring over here. This belt contains coal. It comes all the way up here, and then we're monitoring to see if that if there's less than if the signal coming down from Norvis is less than 0 for coal, and if it is, then this will allow coal through. It'll flow up this belt into the rocket and be taken up. So we already the tutorials that I've already done, particularly the I think the interplanetary logistics one, and maybe the how to do rockets and stuff like that tutorial that I forget the name of. They already touch on that, so it's pretty much covered. While I'm looking at things.
Question.
Let's go and have a look at that.
Is someone working on the elevator to finish that?
No, not at the moment, as far as I'm aware.
Where do we make the cables?
In the
Norvis, I think.
No, we were going to make them on Norvis once we started getting exotic materials down there. At the moment, they're made just off to the side of the space bus, most of the way along, where we were doing energy stuff beforehand.
Yeah. Okay.
So, this is the... wrong mode. This is the nuclear power plant we have over on the Vulcanite planet. There's a... essentially, it's got pipes running down... ducts running down either side to take lots and lots of water and steam in and out. Those are hooked up to the the turbines every so often to make sure all these pipes stay nice and full of whatever they're supposed to be full of, or nice and empty of it if it's in the case of the water. Then miles away down here we have a big tank that stores all of the steam, so it gets pulled out of this and pumped up the ducts to power the turbines, and then and more steam comes into it from the boilers down here. Got a supply of water available as well. The water is then boiled into steam by these tanks by these boiler heat exchangers down here. Heat comes out of the reactors, much as you'd expect, and then the same thing is repeated all the way down there. Now, there is a system on here that controls when the fuel cells go in and out. There's a bit of a problem with it at the moment because we seem to be making the... Oh yes, this is something I needed to fix. Thank you for the reminder. No, wait, why are you not working? Why are you full... What? Oh. Oh. That is an unexpected problem. So what's happened here is that we've built up too much uranium-238 because it hasn't been going into this machine to be made into fresh fuel cells as quickly as I was expecting it to. So this is overloaded and now won't work. So what I'm going to need to do is copy that to there and tell that to be anything but that. And that'll output all of this uranium-238 like this. I can then put in a cut here like that, and a splitter. Let's put the splitter there for... Fine, that's not the right type of splitter. One of these splitters there, and I'll rebuild this in a moment. We can then have this come off here, because I need to set up a filter on that, which is why I don't want to do anything too much with it straight away. And we'll bring it around here like this to dump the excess on over here. Yeah, that will fix this, and things will start running again nicely. I'm not quite sure what's going on with this one. Oh, it's full of used up fuel cells. So this one has now failed. I will need to remotely trigger this to get it working again, because there is a system that tells the reactors to only put a new fuel cell in when they've just taken one out, and they only run when there's less than, and that will only happen when there's a certain amount of when we're down to a certain amount of steam up here. The belt is too full. It's full of the output as well as the input, which is broken spectacularly.
Okay.
Yes. So there we go. That's now come up here. I can now tell this one to filter the 238 out to the right, and put this piece of belt in here, and that will take these off around here. They'll drop onto this belt. They'll be brought back down here, and we'll use those as a priority. So they'll get used up here. Okay. So it's a slightly less elegant way of doing it than I had before, but it has the big advantage that it'll actually work. There's going to be some funny shenanigans going on with this system, I think, because the output is designed to only happen at certain times. So yeah, we're going to be trying to load too many. Yeah, we're trying to load too many fuel cells in here. I think what I'm going to have to do is deactivate that one. Let this, what do we call it? Let this reactor run out of fuel, and then come back and put that one round and try and find a way to manually trigger it, because otherwise it's just not gonna work. I can't restart it. This is yeah, this is a fantastic idea when it's working smoothly and perfectly. But if you have any, if there's a bit of a problem with it, then it all jams up and it's a pain to get it working again. There's a German engineering joke in here somewhere, I'm sure of it, but I probably shouldn't look for that. So yeah, eventually we'll get all these used up fuel cells will be taken out of this reactor. They'll be reprocessed here, and we can start to get this one to run again in a slightly more normal way. But that's going to take a little while to clean itself up. While I'm wandering around the rest of the universe, let's go over to Taishakuten, because there's a couple of inserters here that aren't running, and I'm not quite sure. Oh, you fixed one of them, and the other one is going to Norvis, which doesn't need it quite so much.
Yeah, which has enough currently.
Okay, right, that's been fixed already. Good. Making wide area beacons is on the to-do list as well. What does that require? Did you see a missing pipe a bit down? I don't know. Don't scare me like that. It's possible, but I'm hoping not. You might need to be a bit more specific than just a bit down, because I have no idea. It seems to be generally working, but that doesn't mean there isn't a bit of pipe missing. Below the reactors. No, probably not. Oh, there's the gap here, but I think that's deliberate to take the steam out in multiple different ways, from multiple different places, essentially, so we don't overload any of the pipes. Below the reactors. I wasn't looking below the reactors. There is something funny going on here, linking that one to over there instead of into this boiler. But the water's being pushed in from the bottom of the boiler, and this is a steam pipe? I have no idea. No, this is a water pipe, but it's going down to, but it's being passed down through here, down to these tanks rather than being meant to be fed into there. So we might be okay. Kind of hard to say, to be honest. I do feel that we should have the 2 steam tanks linked together and have all 4 of these run in sync, because at the moment we're only getting a 25% neighbour bonus. We could get a 50% neighbour bonus by having all 4 of them running at the same time, which would be slightly more efficient on the fuel, but never mind. Yeah, if we find problems later, then we'll know that was where they came from, I guess. I am a little bit under the weather, yes. I had a very busy week last week with show week, and that seems to have ended up with me sort of sometimes when I have those sort of ridiculously busy weeks, or particularly show week, because it's spending a lot of time in an enclosed space, in a very dusty enclosed space with a lot of people. It tends to, yeah, there's a fairly high chance I'll come out of it with a cold at the end of the week, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, that's what's wrong with me. So I'm a bit tired and a bit coldy. I apologise for that, but I'll still. It's not. That's not a reason to cancel the stream. I'm going to still keep that going. You'll be pleased, very pleased to know. So yes, wide area beacons. How expensive are they, or how difficult to make are they? Wide area beacon 1, holmium cable, holmium solenoid, processing unit. And it requires energy catalogues, so we'll probably end up making these in space, I suspect. But they're not. There's a lot of stuff goes into them, but none of it is too weird and exotic and difficult. I would like to. Oh yes, one of the things I'd quite like to do over on Norvis is upgrade all of this area to be firstly to use the wide area beacons, and therefore a small fraction of the number of pulverizers, and therefore be able to have it running much faster, better modules in it, etc., etc. But again, that's going to need to wait for the wide area beacons to be made, and we're going to want to ship. If we're shipping those up and down, we're going to want to use the space elevator anyway, so that's some way off, I think. Configure space bus to keep aero scaffolds at the right point. What? I have no idea what I meant by that. Oh yes, there's a warehouse on the space bus. Oh.
This presumably, they go. The bus is much longer than necessary.
Oh, I don't think that's what I meant. Oh no, I remember what I meant. It was I hadn't programmed it in here because I put it in as a bit of an afterthought.
Ah.
So I need to come along and tell this to be minus 10 million, because otherwise there's a very real risk of this system passing these scaffolds down into this warehouse. Or at least there would be if this warehouse wasn't, completely full, and so on all the way down the Dewberry. Now this one here, that needs to be in normal mode, because that then means this is now going to be linked into the everything. Have I? No, I haven't wired this one up yet. So yes, I remember. I was partway through setting all of this up beforehand. So here we need to put in some red cable going from there to there, so that anything in this warehouse is counted. Then we need to put in a green cable going from here to here, so that miscellanea gets passed through from here. So now this will alleviate a lot of the excess pressure in some of the higher up warehouses, because this one had some stuff in it that it shouldn't have had in it. Basically, all of this space scaffolding has ended up in here, and it shouldn't have done, because it doesn't go out on the belt here, or wherever it was going from. So this will now allow us to filter all that stuff down to. Actually, let's sort this warehouse like that.
Laurence, I'll do the wide area beacons in orbit if you do the other 3 in Novs.
Okay, yeah, it sounds reasonably reasonable. Which end does this even take from? I don't know. I don't care. Right, so that's given us a bit more storage space. I think what I might do is put in another one of these here, and that. because I feel like I want to have a bit of spare space available rather than just having yeah, we've got just about enough red warehouses. Let's put in an extra one as well. And now, much later on, when this is built, I'll come back and program that one up as well. I also have clean out some shame from bottom warehouses on my list. Thank you for the well wishes. I feel, to be honest, I feel basically okay. I can tell that I'm a little bit ill because I sound slightly croaky and I feel slightly snotty, but I don't feel dreadful. It's not that sort of illness. I just feel a bit. There's a little bit of tiredness. I'll admit that. But basically, I'm not. I'm not too bad. But thank you for the well wishes anyway. I appreciate that. Okay, so this is in an awkward place. Let's put down a little bit more scaffolding like this, and then have a think about where to put this. I could put it. Oh, actually, no. I can just put it there. That's easy. All right. I thought about it. It was very easy. So we'll have that come through, and then we just carry on down here. Simples. Hello, Calcim. Welcome. Yes, don't worry. I'm not putting the stream ahead of my health, and it is, to be honest, it is just a cold. I've been much iller and done sillier things, so I shall be fine. But yeah, as I say, I still appreciate the well wishes. There and sure, like that. That's fine. Then along the bottom we can have one through like that. That's going to upset everybody's OCD, but never mind. That can go into there. Then we can put along underneath that. No, we can't do that. We need to go underneath this one. And then down and in. There we go. That has load up the good ones there and take out the bad ones there. It's a little bit spaghetti, but that should work nicely. And oh no, I need to put the inserts in at the other end, like this. And this is awkward. This, I guess, because that's not in a convenient place. Oh, that's not going to work. Why is nothing ever long enough? That's what she said. That can do that instead. I'll do. So now we've got the good batteries being brought in, fed in here, and then brought all the way across here to be loaded into the locomotive up here, and then we've got the junk ones can be taken out, brought along this belt, and spat out onto the recycling belt here. So that's now sorted. Needs to do exactly the same thing down here. Except there's a bit less in the way, so I'll be able to do it slightly more neatly. Let's put in a splitter there. No. Why Factorio? Just. I mean, okay, I know you don't understand loaders properly because they're not vanilla, but still, you can try slightly harder than that. So we do that, and then that. No, I can't do this with fewer pieces. Just place ghosts scream. Actually, no, that can be fixed. Put that there, and then the belt can come up and in. There we go. So that's that one. Oh, and I need it at this end as well. Oh, look, here's lots of dead batteries coming through now because I've cleared out the. Oh, crap. That's wrong. That's coming off the wrong belt. Let's do that again with less fail. So now this one needs... This is the one that needs to be split to do this correctly. So we'll put that there. And then we can link that on there. And then this can just go under all of that. And then from here, I can now insert good batteries there. Take out bad batteries there. That's slightly spaghetti, but, you know, it'll work. Right, and of course there's no power down here because I've not put in any more of the giant pylons. So let's do one of them. If I put this in about here, then it's going to just power everything around here, isn't it? Because that's how they roll. That seems about right. Wait, what? Why don't I have a... That's not a pylon substation, that's why. Let's use the correct thing.
Any objections against finishing the elevator?
I don't think so.
We're currently producing at 33 per minute, and we're using in idle mode 4 with our trains. So that should be fine. For
Yeah,
me.
I think that sounds like we'll be okay to just plug it in, and then it'll just keep running happily without causing any problems. So yeah, I'd say go for it. Have you got enough to just chuck them all in to finish and get it working?
Definitely, maybe. Yeah, that should
400.
be. Should be
I
enough,
only
yeah.
ask because I'd like to come over and look when the big green button is pressed.
Yeah, I'll bring the big ones, the big stacks over there, and then set up a requester chest.
Cool. I mean, as a temporary thing, of course.
Of course.
Oh dear. Nothing more temporary than permanent than a temporary solution. I know.
At least
Well,
the
moving
fil-
it down to Norvis, so
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's a very good point. So it will be temporary because we're going to put it somewhere else. Oh, lag. Yes, today will be a very historical moment. A very hysterical moment. That's quite exactly. Take that up. And see
Okay,
what happens.
I
Oh, everything's
put them in
broken.
the machine.
Unbreak everything, Laurence. There we go.
Okay, I've reactivated the steel train, Tristan, because I now have
Cool.
cleared the thing to do the what's calls. And of course, the first thing it does is go somewhere else.
you do indeed have the things to do what's called. Where's it gone?
Somewhere else needed the things for the what's it called.
It's gone
Yeah,
here.
so it's not gonna.
Oh, it's contaminated the thing. It's not.
No, it
gonna come
hasn't.
out.
That's fine. You don't need to worry about that.
that's- Okay, fine.
That's supposed to be steel
contaminated.
drop.
Okay.
It was
But
yeah.
nothing around here has any kind of fueling thing, so it's not going to come back out again.
correct.
Who did this last?
I blame Tristan.
It's a combination of a giant lobster and one cruel bagel.
Yeah, Laurence set up the first stations there.
So what I'm hearing is, having been told no steel for you, your material science can shut down until you get this fueling thing sorted.
Yep.
Two people telling me that. Oh dear. Do I need to go over there and fix it?
Probably because Laurence might be in Norbit, but I'm not.
I am in Norbit. I'm currently sorting out. I'm currently sorting out a fairly similar sort of problem somewhere else. Which one? That definitely is my problem, not my fault. Well, I'm pretty sure it is. So I'm certainly prepared to own up to it.
I'll just send it through via a temporary waypoint to my station where it'll get fully reloaded first.
You have to put some fuel in.
Yeah, I'll take fuel from the other end of it.
I'm near enough. I could drop it. I could chuck a
Okay,
rocket
yeah.
fuel in it if you want on the way. Oh no, it's batteries, isn't it?
No, you can't.
Batteries
Yeah.
only, so I'm
Yeah.
already there.
Okay, cool. I'm heading up in that general, well, close to there anyway, because one of the things on my to-do list was remove shame from warehouses. So I'm going to have a look and see how much shame there is in here. Oh, I have loads of batteries. Would you like some batteries?
No, thank you.
Lawrence?
Yes.
The elevator is about to finish.
Oh.
You on it?
I am now looking at it. Yes, thank you. 23, 27, 31, 35. Dun dun dun. Bing. Right, now it needs power. Oh, it's got power. Now it's got right. Hurrah!
I was charging up a buffer, presumably.
Yeah, I think so.
The transfer is basically two accumulators, probably.
Yeah. So it has 13 cables left in it, ooh, and it just suddenly used 4 of them. Right. So every minute it uses 4, and it doesn't use them slowly and constantly. Every minute it appears it uses just over 4 of them.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think so you've got 1,142 out of 1,138. The earlier number in that drops down, and gradually like that. And when it goes below the other one, it
Oh, I
will suddenly
see.
use a bunch.
Okay.
So it happens to be at about a minute in this case.
Right. I assumed it was about a minute because it used 4 of them. So, but there are 468 in the chest next to it, so that's going to be okay for a little while. Because of the way the graphics look, I'm pretty sure that inserter isn't going to be able to put the cables all the way into the elevator. But the elevator fortunately has a bounding box, and as long as the cables touch the bounding box, that seems to be enough. So, yay, yay, Factorio physics. Right, we have an elevator. We can
which is now providing 1.8 gigawatts down on Norvis.
Nice.
Oh, nice, very nice.
Sweet.
Do we
let's take
know
a
if
look
there
at
is
that.
a limit? A max that kind of.
I mean,
that
normal
can provide?
cables in Factorio don't have limits, but it's not
No,
impossible.
but it's a mechanic with accumulators, so they could be.
True, yeah, there could
It
be.
seems to have equal priority with gas power stations because it's providing exactly the same amount as all of them.
Yeah,
No, that one-
Okay.
very similar amounts, certainly.
Yeah, it was ramping up at the same rate though, so it must be the same priority.
Yeah, it must be. Okay. The question is, what is this capable of? As you say, what is this capable of producing? And if we look at if we look up in
assume all
Norvis
of it.
orbit, what's our current power consumption up here? Because presumably the elevator is going to be the elevator is using 2.1 gigawatts. We have another 1.5 available. So, yeah, I think the thing for us to do now is to put down more solar in Norbit and start decommissioning free power
Yep,
systems
that's
on
what I'm
the
gonna do.
planet.
Yeah,
And see how it goes.
yeah. If you leave half of it, so on
Yep.
Norvis for the first batch,
Yeah.
and that should be safe.
Right, we have No Guard is saying there is no limit on the amount of power there that can be passed through an elevator.
Oh, thanks. Yeah,
Um,
thank you.
which makes a lot
and
of sense. I'm also
I
being
set
told
up
to
a
put these running
warning,
around.
30-minute warning at the chest here. So if we are
right.
below 120 cables, that's
Right, okay, that's what you mean.
Makes
30-minute
sense.
warning.
Excellent, thank you. So the question is, what happens if it runs out of cables? I'm hoping it's not too serious.
Have you seen video footage of the Tsar bomber?
I assume it just disconnects the power and train networks.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
assume
if
that
it's just that, it's
when
not
we
too
first
bad.
built it, that was essentially it having run out
Yeah.
of cables.
Yeah, I get you're probably right. It probably doesn't just snap the cable and go, "Oops, lol." Build it again from
Your
scratch. Go.
Your half-hour warning is probably also half an hour plus another 300 minutes, so 5 hours, because you've got all the parts that are already in there for it to churn through.
Oh, you think it'll churn? You think it'll get down to 0 before it breaks, rather than it needs to have 1138 in it to work?
I would assume it just resets to 0
no.
because you lose all the cable, because it's snapped, basically.
Who knows?
Someone
know.
is going to have to test this for science.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I can test it easily enough in the video.
In a save game.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
What?
Where's the fun in that?
No. We're going to do this the Chernobyl way. We're going to test on the live system. No, we're going to test to destruction on the live system. There's no way that could end wrong. As we all know, Chernobyl is, infamous for its success.
It was a successful test.
It was a. you are right. It was a successful test.
Yes, thank you, Doopy. Much appreciated on spotting the dodgy inserters down there. Oop, there goes another flood of solar panels coming out of the warehouse. Nice. Right, let's see if we can find any shame in these warehouses and whether I need to pull stuff out of them. There's character. Right, this appears to just be full of storage systems at the moment. I think we're probably all right with those, even if it's a lot. That's a lot of warehouses. My goodness, we have a lot of warehouses up here. How about this one? What's it? Is there anything in here I should be ashamed of? It's usually going to be science stuff, which is probably going to be down at the bottom. Now, this is all ludicrous quantities of train parts and ludicrous quantities of inserters.
Do you want to drop the amount of train parts that we're requesting?
Probably sensible. I'll take a look at that in a minute. What about in here? There's some concrete in here. I think that probably shouldn't be there. Ah, here. This is the sort of thing I was talking about as shame. Those definitely shouldn't be in there. Or those, or space train battery pack charging systems. I'll leave them. They're nothing to do with me. These sort of things can also all be taken away and dealt with properly. These things shouldn't really be in here. There's a load of fertilizer in here. I'm not taking responsibility for that. That can just stay. I'll let somebody else tidy that up. And a load of biomass and nutrient vat. And Mark, you've just been ripping massive quantities of stuff up and dumping it into the chests of shame, haven't you?
No.
Lies.
Up here?
Yep. The third one up, although it probably won't. By the time you get to it, it'll probably be the second one up. Has a lot of biological stuff in it.
And by a lot, you mean the vitamin lunch?
There's
Oh, and the by yeah, I see.
20,
Yeah,
20
okay.
21 stacks of nutrient vat, 4 stacks of
Yeah.
biomass, many stacks of fertilizer, a little bit of vitamelange extract, not very much of that, to be fair, it's only 2 stacks. Yeah, and there's some mic stuff in here as well, some girders and some bearings. Oh, there's a load of airframe poles, those are probably my fault, I'll take those as well. Airframe, sorry, beryllium plates, those can go as well, I suppose. These are all things I can deal with. Some lithium chloride here as well, I wouldn't even know where to put that, so I'm not touching it.
I need to do...
Otherwise, this seems fairly shameless. Oh, some stone bricks, they probably shouldn't be there. Quite a lot of cargo landing pads. Some iron text plates. That's nice. But that is, to be fair, that is the thing.
Some iron text.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that is a thing. That is a thing that gets built by bots. So having it in there is less bad. I mean, there's loads and loads of scaffolding as well, but that's okay. That sort of belongs there.
But yeah, I mean, yeah. Where else do you put it?
Exactly. Yeah, it is a thing that's going to be built out somewhere eventually, and the bots will prioritise taking it from there. Actually, they won't prioritise taking it from there. They will take it from there, but it won't be a particularly high priority for them.
Shouldn't they take it from there before red chests?
They are red warehouses.
Oh, they are red. They're all red chests, aren't they? Yeah.
To stop the bots filling them up with miscellaneous stuff.
Yeah. Maybe change the building instructions to based on what's name?
Yes, that's a good idea. What?
Logistic amount. Well, they're not producing.
Oh,
any,
I see what you mean. Oh, they probably are actually. Yeah, they probably
no,
will
they're not.
be.
They're not limited at all because they're limited to
limited
when
to
the chests
just
are full.
a full chest's worth, because that's how many we want most of the time. All right. We've got a load of airframe poles.
How many is a chest full?
4,800.
1, 2.
Okay. Ooh, no, I have a load of airframe poles, which I can dump over here.
So I'll limit them to 28,000. Oh, they were limited to 20k. Someone
Okay.
turned them off.
This is getting rid of all these airframe poles is going to be slightly tricky, I can sense.
They're now all limited to 28k.
That's not too bad. Okay, cool. Well, we'll see what happens. It's not the end of the world if we have a load of spare in there, I don't think.
Do we only have that one? Oh, no, I know we've been through this 1,000 times, I just can't remember. We only have that one blank data card pickup station.
Correct, yes.
Okay, and it's not filling up that. Okay, yeah.
No, we had a red circuit crisis, red circuit board crisis. Have got a red. Yeah, we're not making any because we don't have any red circuits coming in at the moment. Marc is oh no, he's going to work on that if and when I finally make those advanced assembly machines and things he was asking for.
Yeah, I'll
okay.
start designing in the sandbox. I think I can enable the other machines.
Okay, you're doing that, are you?
Not now, but I'll start in a minute when I have.
Oh, if you're still working on the other thing, I'll throw it together now. It shouldn't be too hard. Might be fairly hard, but I'll get that. I'll get working on it. Why is there a random assembly machine out in the middle of nowhere? Did somebody start making something and then change their mind?
Last user, one cool bagel. I think you.
Doesn't mean I know what it's doing there.
I'm gonna say.
I assume that's for what you're about to start building up.
Oh yeah, clearly. Yes, I've just been really
Planned
efficient.
ahead 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Yes, I just dropped that in place. That must be why. Right. So we want assembly machine Mark 12s. I mean 4s.
If you're wanting to use these immersium gears for whichever thing needed it,
It's the beams, not the gears, unfortunately.
With
something else that needs them. Okay.
So, if you're wanting to position things appropriately.
Right. Okay. So these heavy bearings are an issue for this. Because, well, basically just because we don't have any down here.
They are just iridium and lubu.
Okay, so they're not going to be too hard to put together. All right, well, We don't have iridium down here though either, so I'll need to put in a system for bringing that down for the bus. Which again, not too difficult, but it's another thing. Okay, I'll
So you're working on the advanced assemblers, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
I'm just wondering if I can build them off the less advanced assemblers, but that seems to be a nightmare of tangles at the moment. I might just rebuild them from scratch and pull out the stuff where the normal assembly machines, tier 3 assembly machines are being made.
Yeah, they don't take the other ones as input, right?
Yeah, yes, it takes tier 3 assembly machines to make tier 4 assembly machines.
Oh yeah.
As is traditional. It also takes electric furnaces though. Oh, that's a pain in the arse, no? Because that's also going to be
You'll figure it out.
made more. Oh yeah, I will, but it's just to go. Oh, good. It's just it's one of those things where you look at a recipe and you go, oh, for goodness sake, and then you start to work on it, and eventually you manage to start making them. It is very tempting to just go sod it and use a use logistics bots, I have to admit, but I'm trying to be good. I mean, I could just copy all of this over to the other side and make my there's only 4 steps to make the 3 steps to make the advanced smelters, advanced furnaces. Oh yeah, going back to Voz's message from 5 minutes ago. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think as Jeremy has said, then yes, if you finish Factorio once, you're probably okay to then start with normal space exploration. Although it might be worth trying to build up, make sure you've got sort of at least a bit of an understanding of all of the sort of the basics, like setting up train systems and setting up circuit networks and that sort of thing. If you all those things are vanilla. If you're comfortable with those, then you'll probably be all right with space exploration. The other thing you might want to consider is learning a bit about is having some practice with LTN, because LTN is also a very, very useful precursor to goes very, very well with space exploration, because there's a lot of, I'm not going to say there's overlap between them, but there's a lot of stuff where you'll find that using LTN is very, very useful. How do I... Yep, that one. Stone furnace. And then I'll wait for the rest of the machines to come in before I carry on with that. So we're going to need a belt coming up here that has stone on it. Then we're going to need a belt coming up here that has stone bricks and probably steel on it. I need these machines to come in before I can really start planning that properly. Then this will be the electric furnaces, which is probably going to be the same, maybe concrete and red circuits. I'm not sure. We shall see in a minute. Yep, I'm not giving in to temptation. I'm doing it properly. Look, see here. This is going to make the Mark IV assembly machines from this tower of assembly machines that are going to be making simpler and more basic things. Also over here, we'll put in some machines that are going to make the immersium. Actually, what makes an immersium beam? That's an important question. Is it just immersium? Oh, it's immersium plate. Okay, that's fine. We've got that here, but thanks to Tristan bringing it in for the what do you call them? It's gears belts. for the belts. Yes. Do that and that and that and this can come over here to wherever it is it's needed. Okay, so we have stone furnaces, then we have steel furnaces, then we have electrical furnaces, then we have tier 4 assembly machines, then tier 3, and oh dear, this is going to be complicated, but never mind, we'll make it work. And tier 1 and tier 0, lovely. Yeah, it's also worth making sure you're familiar with blueprints as well, because they're handy. Blueprints, copy and paste, all that sort of goodness. So stone coming in here. We've got stone bricks and steel coming in here. We've got red plates, steel, and steel coming in here. So we'll extend that one to there, because that's also going to be steel. And then bring in another belt here that's going to be, was that red circuits? I forget. It doesn't really matter. We'll find out in a minute. Then you are going to need those two things. These. it's very tempting to also put the heavy girders on this belt as well. Actually, maybe I'll do that. We'll see. Okay, carrying on up here now. Blimey, that's a lot of nonsense. Okay, so we're going to need to make steel gear wheels. We've got steel right here. Here, one of these. This one here. So we'll bring steel up from there. We'll change that to number 1 because I'm actually building stuff on Norvis. So if I put in underground like that, we can then splitter that. Put the belt the right way around. It goes up there. So it's going to make my steel gears. Then we also need... all the rest of this stuff comes in off the bus. That's fine. I won't put that there, though, because I want to bring this belt across here and up to here. So we'll put that machine there. Yeah, that kind of works. Then we could load that from there and there. Lovely. That's going to be steel gears, as I said. The rest of the stuff that goes into here is big motors, red circuits. Oh, red circuits are already down here. So if I bring on this belt... having a little less lag so I don't randomly rotate belts would be nice. And underground belts. There we go. Okay, so that's going to have red circuits and something else. I haven't decided what yet. Welcome to Watch Laurence Sketch Spaghetti. It's going quite well so far. So that could, yeah, it could be big electric motors and red circuits. So we need concrete and I need concrete now as another thing coming up here. So concrete on there. Now up here we need small electric motors and more steel. That's convenient because steel again is one of the things I've got. Yes, this one. So I'll bring that up to there. So that's my steel supply. Lovely. And then we need small motors and green circuits. Many inputs, so that's going to be that one done. Then up here, oh, still, again, small electric motor, same as this one. Okay, so that can go up to here. And then we need, of course, we need iron gears here, and as well as burner assembly machines. Burner assembly machines need automation cores, lovely, and stone brick and iron. So we'll put that there. And then we'll have a belt of iron coming up here. Yeah, belt of iron coming up here, and all the rest of it. Okay. So I think we are nearly there now. Now it's just a case of wiring in all of the ingredients, and we'll be done. Where are my steel gears? That's an iron gear. Where's the steel gear? There it is. Oh, and power as well. But you know, power is always kind of useful. So, stone. That's this one. Looks like yes, there. Conveniently, all the belts are really close by, so they get built really quickly.
Oh look, all 3 material science catalogues are backed up right to the station in the science area.
Stone, bricks, and steel plates.
That's nice.
Steel plates. Is this one?
All 3 that we currently have.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And stone bricks is that's concrete. Stone bricks, that's this one.
The catalogue says this back.
Yeah.
And stone bricks, that's this belt. Yeah, I have left. Good. I had a momentary panic that I hadn't left enough room for this, but I have. There we go. That goes there and there and there. Next up, we have this belt, which carries the steel. Hang on, wait. What? Have I got this wrong? I've got steel plates coming up here onto this belt, which brings them up to here, and oh yeah, up to there. So yeah, this belt goes to here. Oh, good grief! Is going to be red circuits and heat shields. Okay. Red circuits come from down here.
The only catalogues the science area is missing are the Bio 2, and that's due to an data card shortage.
Yep.
In the best Yak Shavy way, we are currently working on the data card shortage. Oh, what? a red underground belt is one square less than double a yellow one. That's really unhelpful. So I've upgraded to blue. Red, those, and what was the other thing? Red circuits and, oh yes, heat shield tiles. I know heat shield tiles are on here somewhere because they're being fed into the rocket. They must be here. Come on. Where are the damn heat shield tiles? Oh, you're a heat shield tile. You're a heat shield tile. Okay. And that's going to come up here. Yeah, I'll put it there. Right in the middle, but never mind. That's interesting. That's been the first one of these resources that's come through that hasn't been right at the top, I think, or certainly top or bottom of a bus piece. Now, I suppose there's a 50-50 chance that any individual resource will be either a top or bottom, because there's only 4 per stack, so that's not that surprising, but still. Right, then feed those together onto a belt here, up the middle, and there we go.
Mike, how do you feel your supply of energy material 3 catalogs is?
How do you mean?
So is it worth upgrading the insights to using 3 of them rather than just the tiers 1 and 2?
I think so, yeah. I mean, the only real thing that's throttling it right now is... Well,
Data cards.
The throttle is data cards. Yeah, sure, those are slow. The Cat 3s are slower than the Cat 1s and 2s, but... Yeah, it's stable.
Turn it on, see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once it finishes these ones...
Alright, what do you need?
So
You need big motors
The other thing
and...
which is currently being manually loaded
concrete.
is pistol magazines, but that will be one of the first things that I automate
With the
train
trains.
system. Yeah.
Big motors?
Is anyone actually building up the sort of train platform drop-off area-y thing?
I started on it, but haven't got very far.
And to confirm, are we expecting there to be effectively a shuttle that goes from top to bottom and back and back and back? Or is it at the bottom there is effectively a train yard round the base of the elevator, and then trains from there go up to wherever they need to go to up in orbit?
The latter is my intention.
Yeah.
Okay, so in theory, all of the Norbit trains which need a thing will have a stop in orbit and a stop on Norvis.
Yes.
Possibly more than that, but at least one of each. Not counting ones that are taking things from recycling back around, etc. etc.
Well, the idea is that the ones that go down, any train that goes down, going to go off and get some more miscellaneous anything,
scrap with it.
is going to take some scrap down, yeah, or some scrap products down at least with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Great.
Concrete. Right, that stone bricks. That needs linking though. Concrete. I think I probably misclicked on that because of the slight lag of playing in on a remote system meant it was a sort of just my click wasn't at quite the right times, therefore stuff went the wrong way. Oh, we're gonna have to move all this across a little bit because that is supposed to go that way.
Mitchell says that the best people in the game have got quite low audio.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, let's have a look at that. Marc's at 100%. Let's nudge him up to 120%, see if that helps. Mike is at 90%. Let's put him down to 50%, see if that helps.
Fair. Yep.
There we go. Is that any better? Oh, see, it's missed that one again because I started dragging from there, but because there's a sort of slight input lag because of the playing remote on a remote machine, or whatever the causes of it. The drag didn't go from quite the right place. Okay, so that's now making the tier 3s, except for the fact it's not going to be given any tier 2s. Tier 2 needs small motors and green circuits. Hey, there's only one person allowed to be ill at a time, and that's me at the moment.
I just got a cough.
Exactly. Oh, here we go. Here's green circuits. I couldn't see them because there's too much green. I don't know. So that comes over to here. We're going to need to do the dip underneath trick again. So this is going to have to go from there. Just going to put that in the wrong place again. So let's get rid of all that. Let's get rid of that bit again. Let's put in the underground belts and things, the infrastructure, before trying to tap it into exactly where it needs to go. So there's that, and then there was this blue motors. These things. Which come these are they're sort of more or less in the middle. Let's go up from this one. Let's be lazy. Let's do that, and then that. Nope, no, one more. Wow. There we go. And I suppose I should put in these underground belts like this, just in case I get lazy and drag across later. Right, now up here we can get that and that and that. That there. Oh, these machines need to be programmed. So you are going to be making the immersium beams, both of you. You need to be making iron gears, which is up top there. And so this one needs to have iron coming up, which feeds into there and into there. And you're just your iron and stone bricks and a whole automation course. Bloody hell! I've got stone bricks down here. Yes, so I was going to bring that one up here. So I need automation cores and iron on this one. Iron is quite easy, that's here. And it's apparently blue. Sweet. I guess I better put a blue splitter in there then. Otherwise, I'll be putting in unnecessary bottlenecks. But that can go yellow from here on. We're not going to be building that many of these assembly machines, I don't think. And automation cores. Wow, that's a name I haven't heard for a while. Oh, here they are, actually. They're on a yellow belt, okay. Drag it over there, and then, yeah, we'll go up from here. So that means that needs to go there. Yes, there. And then up like this. And I will put another underground in under here, like that. Be good. And then from here, we join these two onto a single belt. Bring it up here. Cross. Up. Right. That is now complete, except I haven't put in an output for this, so I suppose at this point I should put in a passive provider chest like that and insert it to load it, and then program it up to only load when there's a shortage of the stuff. And that is now done. Do we have Roboport coverage? We do not have Roboport coverage because that's in construction mode. Let's put that back over to normal mode, and it's not enough. Who placed that? Probably going to find it's me in a second, but we'll have a look. It was me, but that was because I put it in construction mode because I was trying. Oh yeah, because the point is we've now expanded out of the area where we were originally using for the main part of the bus. Big Grid's being eaten, or at least the bots on Big Grid are being eaten. Yeah, so we've now expanded basically off the end of the bus into an area that was where we just had sort of miscellaneous side construction of things like oil mines and things. Yeah. Oh, that's not within power range. That's annoying. Okay, we'll put in another pylon there. We don't have any of the really good space pylon things yet because we haven't got a system to bring them down, but never mind. Eventually, the bots will come over and finish doing all of the building work I've requested. They are, unfortunately, at the moment, they seem to be too busy bringing in yellow belts from goodness knows where. Has someone done a massive upgrade somewhere? Wow, it's a lot of bots bringing back yellow belts that have been liberated from who knows where. And then running out of battery power because they're bots and they're a bit terrible. Right. Yeah, you're unpowered. We know about that. Doop. I need this inserter to be given, well, to be placed, and I need that one to be given power, and then and that pylon to be placed, and then everything should work. So you connect to the robo network. Do connect when tier 4 assembly machines, that's you, is less than, I don't know, 200. Because I know Marc is going to be using quite a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right. I believe everything is now in place. This should start working. It'll take a few minutes for everything to rattle through, but once this pylon gets dropped in, we should actually have some of these. We should get some of these assembly machines ready. So the next thing was going to be the chemical plants. Did we decide we'd build those in space because of the? No, those weren't too bad, were they? It was something else that was weird. Advanced chemical plant is processing unit, immersium beam, immersium gear, electronic component, steel pipe, and brown metal. That's easy. I'll do that down here. I'll get that done now as well. Half the stuff I need for that might be around here. Interestingly, so the K2, so whilst the advanced assembly machine requires all of the earlier tiers, the advanced chemical plant doesn't. It just requires stuff, for want of a better word. Right. Now I want to go underneath a big load of stuff, so I'll just use a blue belt because that's easy. Put that over there. That's going to get me both of my types of immersium over here. So let's actually bring that back up again because I do want this. Literally none of these things are in the list of ingredients I've just pulled out for all of these machines. That's ridiculous. Okay. I guess I'll go from scratch. Just want that and that. Actually, to be fair, I do need steel, but steel is all the way over here. I'm not going to loop that all the way around. That's just ridiculous. Oh, okay. Oh, so you're telling me that the advanced assembly machine is an AAI, not a K2. Okay. Or well, it's K2. It's AAI as well as I don't know. But okay, that makes sense. And part of me sort of likes the telescopic recipes because they are. It gives you an interesting way of making the more advanced things. But yeah, I can also see why you would dislike them. Okay, so what are we even putting in here? I'm gonna wait for the machines to be placed so I can I can look at what they're doing before I and be lazy. Actually, this one's steel, so that's going to be relatively easy. I'll do that one now.
I'll try talking without muting myself for a change. I think that might be helpful.
Yeah, I mean, if you're too quiet because you've muted your microphone, there's only so much I can do to help there.
Oh yeah, that's on me. This train set up down here near the space elevator on Norbit, Tristan, is that all for your stuff, or is this supposed to be where everything goes?
This is everything.
Everything, okay.
So I've started naming the stations.
Aha, right. So now we can tell that to make. That's a furnace.
Mike, you stole all the bots.
Yep. Thanks very much.
And steel pipe.
Sounds like the sort of thing I'd do.
What's a concise word for stuff that's been brought down from Norbit?
Trash.
Space
Downstream.
stuff.
Downstream.
Downstream, yeah.
Blue electronic components.
So when Laurence is confused as to what these stations are, he's the one who chose the name.
Oh, no, not that one. This one.
Okay, and the station's only big enough for 1221. One more, 121, sorry.
121,
yes.
121, yep.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Okay. And it's space rail on Norvis.
Yes.
Yes, because it's space rail because space trains.
And space trains can only go on space rail.
Correct. And
Okay, fair enough.
we're trying to put as little as we sensibly can on Norvis, basically.
Oh yeah, no, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I was just looking at it going, but yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Is there any in the rocket? Because we talked about
Let's
sending
do
some
brown
down.
metals,
Yes,
just
Laurence has
'cause
put 1,500, 1 and a bit thousand in the rocket. So that stuff down there will get built once the rocket launches.
Aha. Okay. No. That wasn't what I meant to press. That was meant to be an upgrade, not a destroy. Let's try that again with the right tool. There we go. That's much better.
Would it be helpful if Tristan was to talk us through the setup with it now sort of placed down?
Probably would be, but it might be more fun if we just blindly pile into it and make things and see what happens. Okay, what have you done, Tristan?
So, do you want to start in Norbit? 'Cause
Okay.
stuff is being picked up there. No, actually, I haven't built much of it up here, but so that loop that goes round. There will be underneath that. There will be another number of loops that have pickup stations for anything that is being brought from Norbit down to Norvis.
Okay.
And that will be just generic. Throw it in any old train on its way down,
And it'll get sorted
that'll
down
take
on
it
Norvis.
down
Okay.
there.
So it's basically, you could almost, it's it's going to be anything that comes up, it's almost like another of our mixed scrap belts, but this one just happens to get dumped into a train and taken away.
Yes, essentially.
In fact, looking at that, there's just about enough space there to squeeze it. If you move that roboport, there's probably enough space in this sort of area to have the station on the bottom of that loop. You'd only be able to get one train filling up at a time, but you could see it would be possible to do it there.
Yeah. I was thinking of turning or something all of the ore processing is going to be removed if
That's
we're sending
true.
that down.
That's true. We're going to have
So-
lots of extra space there, and so actually,
shunt
and all of those
scrap
train
down.
stations are going to go as well because there isn't going to be any copper and iron and glass and stone to pick up from there. So yeah,
True.
all of that can
Yeah.
go. Yeah, it's going to give us loads of space. Yep, true. Okay, so the scrap processing could just be moved down. Fair point.
And at that point, we can move it left a chunk as well and have it splitting going into more machines or more rows of machines.
Yeah. Yep, that makes sense.
So then down on Norvis, there is it bypasses the first priority. So any fluid trains, for example, would go through there. There are no example fluid stations yet. Any of the others will be sent to the downstream stations.
Oh, I see. So you've got astro pickup, energy pickup, material pickup, and so on across here. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. So it's essentially it's up to us to make sure that whatever goes into the warehouse for our science pack is what we want to be shipped up to our drop-off station up in Norbit.
Yes, and I'm assuming sort of down here somewhere there will be a bunch of normal stations, probably with access from the right, because that way this can expand further and further left as necessary.
Yep, that makes sense. And there's this convenient crossroads we can link that onto as well.
Yeah. Need somewhere for the stuff from the downstream stations to go. I was going to use
Yeah.
Greenbelt Underground to just cover the distance and then merge them all together and take them
Okay.
somewhere.
The other thing is there's going to be some stuff coming from the bus. So like all the science cards, unless we move science card production off somewhere else, which is a possibility. But unless we do move science card production off somewhere else, then we're going to need belts coming from we're going to need some significant trunk of belts coming from the bus over to here. And as a consideration, if we're doing that, do we want to bring more belts over from the existing bus drop-off stations? So, for example, if you want a supply of blue circuits, you could have a green belt running from the blue the blue circuit drop-off station there.
Yeah, I would suggest that is sensible, and basically we take from the bus where possible, and so there should hopefully only be maybe one or two stations down the bottom.
Minor correction: we take from a bus station where possible, rather than from the bus.
Yes,
I
that's
think
what I meant.
Put in an additional belt. Now, if we upgrade some of the bus stations to be more like the aeroframe one there, and less like the wood one next to it, so as in one warehouse, then that'll allow us to keep it nicely balanced. Well, that said, the wood warehouse is also balanced because it all feeds into one, but less like the other ones over here, for example, that go into lots and lots of them. And then have a balancer on the output. If we just have a single warehouse and use that to do the balancing, that'll probably be a lot neater and more reliable as well. Okay, well, I imagine we should be using a lot of long green underground belts to try and navigate all of this. But yeah, I think this seems reasonable. It's basically that is pretty close to what I've been thinking. So yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, my expectation is that there won't be anything underneath, basically in this area, so that there will be space for belts to run in from that direction.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yes.
And there'll probably be a massive mess of merging area around spaghetti around here.
Yeah, my biggest concern at this point is going to be for the one that is going to be for the train that replaces the rocket that goes to the space bus, because that is going to have like 20, 30 belts going into it. Other ones like Astro is probably going to be maybe half a dozen, maybe ish. I imagine the other sciences are going to be fairly similar. But the main bus is going to be crazy. So maybe we should leave
them all
a large
along one.
Maybe
so that the right-hand one is the space bus.
Okay, I was going to say maybe we should leave a lot more space for the space bus than that much space, and just have it as almost have it as its own slightly more separate thing. Although actually, if it's there, if it's on the end, particularly if we designed it with the warehouse out here, so there's more, out like that, so there's more room to get belts around it. So that would have that has room for 18 now.
Yeah,
18 belts coming into it. That could be quite reasonable.
Okay, so things like data cards, which are common to everywhere, is each individual station expected to handle its
data cards? I think will stay the same because I believe the data cards have. Oh yeah, data cards have to be made in space because you can't polish the substrates on Norvis. You might possibly be able to make the data cards on Norvis out from the polished substrates, but that's a bit too much over transporting, I think. So those will continue to be provided in exactly the same way as they are at the moment.
Space manufacturing.
Okay.
Okay, only space
Laurence,
manufacturing. Right. Yes.
Some constructive feedback on your advanced assembly machines. You might have missed one ingredient.
That is entirely possible. I was waiting for some stuff to be brought out before I checked whether it was finished, and then went off and started working on other things.
The heavy bearings.
Damn it! Yes, you're right. Bugger. And that's a
Just
difficult one as well.
Scream about that.
Yeah, and that's the
Talk
annoying
during
one.
the stream about it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is no, don't make it like that. No, don't. Click the right buttons, Laurence. There we go. So these are made from iridium in a different shape, I think. Yes. Oh, and vulcanite. So iridium, vulcanite, and lube. That's not too... Ooh, do we have vulcanite on this bus? We certainly don't have iridium on it. No, I don't think we do. Okay, that's going to make this a bit harder. But yes, I clearly forgot those. Okay, so over here we are going to make iridium girders and iridium bearings.
How early on the bus is it worth putting them down? Because they're obviously going to be delivery cannon in for now.
Yeah. Oh, I've just had another thought. So your dump stations are going to be for bringing exotic materials down to Norvis in the future as well, aren't they? The downstream is going to
Ingots,
be for
yes.
ingots and things. Okay, cool.
So those can, feed onto the bus.
Kill. Okay. Hello, Teeman. And apologies if I'm pronouncing that wrongly. I think for now, because we don't have iridium or vulcanite on the bus at the moment, I'm just going to drop them in by delivery cannon, and we can put the bus pipes in later. I sincerely hope that Mike has a spare gun, and I sincerely hope that I have a spare gun as well. Actually, come to think of it,
I do indeed have spare guns. If you remember, if you cast your mind back, you were criticising me in the summary video for putting so many guns in.
That doesn't sound like a thing I would do.
I know it's so out of character for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm never critical.
Exactly.
Especially not of you.
Of course, of course. problems.
Sorry, I nearly managed to keep a straight face through that.
It's alright, you've turned the webcam off so no one can see whether you're grinning or not.
You can probably hear whether I'm grinning or not.
True that.
Where should I put these? Don't say it. I'll do. Right, there we go. All sorted. Now, I also need a signal transmitter down here as well to actually request this stuff. So it's one of those. That will actually conveniently fit into this space here. That's very useful. I'm also going to need power over here. Maybe I should have used one of the giant... what's names? You're making a iridium plate, aren't you? Could do that, I suppose. That needs to go there. Come on, save the game faster. I would like to say I think my streams are going to be far more exciting than just playing a game yourself, but I may be slightly biased. So no, it's up to you which you want. I mean, I think multi-screen is probably the way to go, but if you only have the one, then that is going to make it slightly trickier. Yeah. Well, I won't be streaming forever. In about 2 hours or so, with emphasis on the or so, I will probably stop or either that or I'll just fall asleep at my desk. And at that point, then I suppose, well, then you can go off and play your own version, play your own game. This is what.
Yeah, in about 2 hours, Mike will give his first warning, and then we'll only play 1.5 hours more.
That's about right.
It is pretty standard, although, I mean, I was going to say I am quite tired, but I've said that many times before and then still played to ludicrous o'clock, so, yeah, no. Right, where does lube come from? That's my next question.
And
Oil.
I meant slightly later on in the production process than that. If I have to bring crude oil in up the bus to make the lube, I'm not going to be happy.
Mark and I took two very different approaches to answering your question.
Oh, I didn't hear your answer, Mike, which is probably for the best.
I said Ann Summers.
Oh, right. I actually thought you were going to say ask persistent, but but she might give the same answer. I don't know.
Tempting, but no. Not this time.
Lawrence,
Hello.
just to let you know, I've put a splitter on your heavy bearings output to take it up for the purple belts as well.
Oh,
I
okay.
put priority over to making the what's names that you're making.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, and that's fine. I might even have noticed at some point. You never know.
Wow, the length of these underground green belts is insane.
It gets to the point with those that sometimes it's quite hard to follow what they're doing, just because there's so little of them that you'll just see every sort of couple of screens width you see a green underground belt and you go, where's that go?
That's ridiculous.
All right, for here I would like to have some vulcanite. Yes, I would. And I would also like to have some iridium. Yes, iridium. Set those up like that. And then cably. Boom, 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 like that. Now I need to give this a sensible name other than default. So what do we call? What are we even making here? Oh, this is just heavy bearings, isn't it? So heavy bearings Norvis bus. There we go. Right, that'll work. So now I need to go off to Nimnikothar. And I need to go over to... Oh, yes. Yeah, this is the sort of the large number of guns, but I presume, are they all just... I just need to find one that isn't going anywhere. Here we go. Here's one that isn't going anywhere. So we'll set that to fire at Norvis, at this bin here. And go back with that button. Hell, which one was it? It was this... No, not that one. This one? Yes, this one I've just set up. That is hooked up to... With this one here, if that is less than 0, and it's hooked up to here. So I now program this one with heavy bearings Norvis bus. There we go, green light. and turn it on. Boom. And that's Norvis Orbit. I'm not interested in Norvis Orbit right now. There we go. So we've now got some iridium ingots have arrived, so that's good. We need to program this one down here with Vulcanite. That's fine because it didn't do anything because there wasn't any Vulcanite to do anything with. Now we go over to Agnair and find out if I've left enough guns, which is this the next part of the question. Or I could nick one of the Taishakutan ones. That would be valid as well. What are you doing? Are you doing anywhere? Yes, you're doing Norvis Orbit. Okay, I need to put down another gun, and then I need to go. For goodness sake, there isn't really enough space for this, but then there's room for one more. The next one after this is going to be extremely awkward, but for now, it's okay. Now, let's find out if this is going to be problematic. Nope, there's no alerts for... oh, wait. Where am I? I'm on Agnair. No, there don't seem to be any alerts for Agnair. Good, so we are going to get all the bits and pieces we need. Thank goodness for that. Yeah, eventually. I can need... Oh, actually, no, well, let's get this programmed up. So it is going to be doing Vulcanites. It's going to be doing them to... no, it's going to be doing them to Norvis again. And to the same place. There. Back over to Agnair. And that's now... Yeah, that's configured correctly. You are going to be looking at signal from Heavy Bearings Norvis bus. You need power as well. Let's put a pylon there. And put another one there for fun. Just for funsies. That'll power this. You need to be connected with a red cable to the receiver, and to only get told to only get excited when you see that's basically Vulcanite less than 0. I can now turn you on. Well, hey, it shoves all those in. This is now sitting there going, why are you not firing? Oh yes, I didn't put the inserters in on the top. Let's do that as well. Little things like, you know, if you put Vulcanite into the Vulcanite gun, then it'll work quite a lot better. Alright, well, apparently we're doing 3 inserters. I should probably be using loaders for this. I don't know, whatever. We have quite a nice supply of Vulcanite available at the moment. There is about 44,000 of it available, and that feels like quite a familiar number. I think one of these must be limited at... Yeah, that one's limited at 40k. That one's limited at 45k. So we are stopping the... Because this... Oh yeah, this is the one that's... This stream coming along here is the one that's made from core fragments, and is therefore free, heavy inverted commas, all of my usual standard disclaimers apply. This one is made from mining, and therefore could potentially run out at some point in the future. So here we go. We are loading in the... Loading in loads and loads of Vulcanite, charging it up, and ready to fire. So now if I go back over to Norvis, we should see Vulcanite falling from the sky, as if by magic. Doop, just like that. There we go. So that'll allow me to then make the girders. Yep, there we go. Pass the girders into here, and we can make the heavy bearings. Lovely. And then those can come over here. And fairly soon, Marc might be happy. God, 10 heavy bearings per assembly machine. This is going to be a slow process, but it is going to make like 200 of them before it stops running. So if you're prepared to, once it's got them built, once it's got a supply built up, it should be fine. But it's going to be a little while until you get them in decent numbers, I'm afraid.
Yeah, no worries.
But yep, there we go. It's building the first one. It's building, and it's taking quite a long time to build. Still taking a long time to build. It's quite a slow build. And it has made one. Right. Okay, there you go. There's your first Mark IV assembly machine. What are you waiting for? You're waiting for more iridium. Okay. So this iridium slicer down here is the limiting factor at the moment. I could take my first Mark IV assembly machine and upgrade the iridium slicer, but that seems like a foolish thing to do. Actually, no, it doesn't. That seems like a good idea, because it'll speed up the production in general, so we'll do... does that not count?
An electronics
It's
machine
not,
type thing.
Not a straight upgrade. Sorry?
I think it's not. It can't do everything. It can do very specific recipes.
Oh. Okay, that's interesting. Because it's called an advanced assembly machine, I assumed it was just, you know, an advanced assembly machine.
I can see why you think that.
Okay.
So it can't do everything. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Are you sure you want it, Mark?
After all that work.
I was looking at circuits, and yes, they can be built in those.
I will stop streaming at some point this evening. I do need to get at least a little bit of sleep at some point in my life. I'm not very good at it, but it's a thing that I try to do sometimes. Right, what are we missing
I'm now making the white area beacons in orbit,
Oh, awesome.
but we don't have an automated system to bring them down, right?
No. Well, no. We need to think about how we want to do
Trains,
that.
once we have that
Yeah,
set
it'll be they'll come down
Yeah.
in the trains, but it's how do we get them to the trains? This is a sort of thing that's sort of borderline okay for doing with the logistics bots, because it is just sort of occasional sporadic stuff for construction.
Yeah.
But if we can come up with a better way, then I would be happier. Nope, that needs underground. Not that way.
No, what I mean is we don't even have a signal from for that connection.
Oh, I see. No, that's very
Downwards.
true. We don't.
So do it manually for now.
I guess. Oh, nice. That does fit in there.
Ooh.
Oh, but it doesn't come out of the top. All right, I'll use a red. One of them goes from there to there, and then that belt comes down there, and then that and that. And it's time for me to turn the light on because it's getting rather dark in here. It's apparently that time of year. Still. Despite my comments earlier about leaving that party at 4:30 on Saturday night and realising that the sky outside was lit up already, and that's how you know you've stayed rather late, isn't it? When you decide, when you go out to go home and you realise it's getting light. Right. That should at some point in the reasonably distant future, when all the bits arrive, start building advanced chemical plants. I'm a little concerned about the inputs of some of the stuff on the bus. I'm going to have a look along to see what seems to be a bit limited at the moment. So, because there were a couple of things I noticed now, and at this point I can't remember what they were. Also, I seem to be getting frame drop. Tristan, could you slow the game down a little bit, please?
Yep.
Thank you. Yeah, the electronic components seem to be a little bit underwhelmed. Some of the science packs were struggling earlier, but seem to have caught back up again now. And actually, things seem to be basically okay. I'm not too worried about what's about the stuff on the bus at the moment. At this rate, we're going to have the first chemical plant finished before the inserter and the chest arrive for it to be put into. Oh, here comes the chest. Oh, in fact, yes, the first advanced chemical plant did get finished before the chest was arrived in order to put it into it. Right, connect to the logistics network and only run when there is less than, I don't know, when advanced chemical plants. If you're an advanced chemical plant, where would you hide in this list?
Next to the normal chemical plants.
Oh yeah, it was finding that was also struggling with. There we go. Although when I started looking for the normal chemical plant rather than the advanced, it was easier to find. Oh, one of them's just been taken away. Who's requesting advanced chemical plants already?
Me.
Okay.
Well, a rocket for me.
Ah, I see. Right. So I've done many things, and I've got slightly distracted. So how are we doing? The iridium cutter is not moduled. Let's do that because that is running a bit. That is the limiting factor on this entire area. So if I do module inserter on that, it's probably going to be. It's not going to do anything, probably because it's probably trying to speed module it. It probably not speed module it. Oh no, it's just not at all configured. What? Right. So an assembly machine 3. I want to put in speed module 3s. We've probably got 3s by now, I expect. And yeah, load that up with them. There we go. Little picture of a turtle. Yeah, maybe then that'll be able to keep up a little bit better because yeah, this is now this is now infrastructure, which I didn't really intend it to be, because this is built now this is building heavy bearings for making purple belts. It's going to need a bit more throughput than I was originally intending it to need. So it's probably going to be rather hopelessly underwhelmed for no, it's going to be hopelessly overwhelmed and producing an underwhelming amount of output. Sleep is definitely not overrated. I definitely need more of it. Ugh. Right, okay, advanced chemical plants and advanced assembly machines. And that's not too spaghetti. There's a little bit of weirdness around here in the middle, I'll admit. But basically, that's not too bad, as by my standards anyway. No, thanks, Kigwe. I'm not interested in using other people's blueprints, because it's much more. I feel it's that sort of. It's optimizing the fun out of the game. To quote, I can't remember who it was who said it, but there was somebody who I think it might have been one of the Factorio devs actually, who said, given the chance, players will optimize all of the fun out of the game, and I feel that using other people's blueprints is kind of doing that. Because the whole point, the whole fun of Factorio is building all this stuff up. Going off and grabbing somebody else's blueprints is. Yeah, just not the way I like to play. Okay, no, that's fine. Okay, now what is the question? I suppose probably let Tristan mess around with the space trains a little bit more, the elevator a little bit more until it's sort of, you know, ready. There is a mass. Oh, this is why the game is struggling. There is a mass deconstruction going on of all of these.
I forgot that the greenhouses are full of wood, so
Marc,
the deconstruction.
Marc has an infinite number of bots.
Just cut off the water in.
Yeah, but then we don't generate any steam, so it won't get used up.
That makes sense.
At least with that setup, I might be able with the other setup.
Right, we're now producing 2.9 gigawatts from the pre-power system and 2.8 from the elevator. So yeah, that definitely needs a bit of a nudge in the right direction, but I'm sure that'll come with time. Okay, good. So we're at least being able to rip out all of this and all of this is going to make a big difference. It's almost tempting to say we should not deconstruct it. We should just at the end of the after the stream or between streams, we should just load it with creative mode and just delete all of those things.
No, that's cheating.
It's sort of cheat. It's only cheating in a UPS way. I feel like because you're not creating anything for free. You're just destroying a load of things to save your. I suppose it's saving the bots from doing an enormous amount of work. You could argue that. But yeah, I'm just thinking from the point of view of saving a little bit of the UPS.
I'll figure something out too.
But yeah, just leaving it running is probably going to be fine. We'll get used to the slow speed, and then when it starts working again properly, we'll go, wow, this is amazing.
I'm disconnecting the power network manually with the cables.
Oh, okay, that could work too.
You still got to
interestingly
collect power from it.
There's only 2,000 out of 10,000 construction bots that are doing stuff.
Oh, it's because Marc cancelled it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Alright, I just looked at the wrong time. Someone in chat suggests just nuking the free power area to destroy it all. That's an awesomely horrible idea, I approve. I mean, I disapprove very, very strongly, of course. Oh, dear. Right, why am I standing in energy science? Oh, yes, I remember.
What?
I was dumping some spare cables out because I'd cleaned out some of the junk that shouldn't have been in the warehouses of shame.
I'll let you off then. It was the energy part of the science park rather than energy catalogues.
Yes, also true. Okay, can't put those in there. Fly, my pretty, fly. Stutter, my pretty, stutter. Hey, I've only fired one accidental nuke in a place where I shouldn't, and it was relatively easy for the system to clear up afterwards. Right, my thought was, I know, I'll go and carry on working on Astroscience Pack 3, because that's the next thing I need to work on. But that's reliant on Tristan producing cryonite in massive quantities, or at least larger quantities than he currently is, which is unfortunately reliant on him stopping faffing around with the train systems.
I'm not actually. That's what I'm more of what I'm doing at the moment.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, so I'll leave you doing that, and I'll get set up with all the stuff on the. But why do I have 2 stations full of chemical gel? That's not supposed to have happened. One of these, obviously, one of them was for cryonite slush, and I screwed up. Right, let's fix this. You can be cryonite slush drop.
Oh, the tips and tricks is just telling me that Shift M is the change Roboport mode.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I don't know why it's decided to tell me now.
It noticed you were struggling.
It's probably found that I've placed a construction Roboport by hand for the first time, or something ridiculous like that.
There we go. That'll pull all the chemical gel out of this station into this one, where it's supposed to be, and then virtually all of it, and then I can dump some of that. So you should actually say cryonite slush, which is that one. And that's now named cryonite slush. So yeah, that'll start working. I need to remember to fix this pipe work over here, or there'll be a wailing and a gnashing of teeth next time a chemical gel train tries to come. Actually, there won't be. It'll only be me who's upset, so it's slightly less bad because nobody will shout at me at least, which is probably a good thing. Right, let's now. Now the time is now. It's time to start thinking about Astro 3 again. So we have, the problem was, most of this is, as is sort of traditional with space exploration, this is mostly quite easy. It's just there's one little bit on the side that isn't. So it was, I mean, it's a lot like that. It's a lot like this bit down here. Making these was mostly quite easy, except for this bit, and to a limited extent this bit, although that wasn't too bad. Over here, this was all generally pretty easy because we had all the stuff available already. But yeah, often you find that things are mostly easy except for the bit that isn't. So here we get radio wave observation data. It's something we've done loads of times before. It's exactly the same thing again, but with a different type of satellite dish. Fine, that's not a problem. Dark matter data is taking 2 other types of data that are going to be in the vicinity anyway. That's fairly easy. Put them in a machine that I've gone off and I think I've started making those. I'm pretty sure, and that's done. That's fairly easy. Negative pressure data. Similarly, taking so aeroframe scaffolds are a bit of a challenge for that one, but I have started making them, and they are going to be around, and the astrometric data, which is all over the place for this science. Anyways, not too bad. The problem is the gamma ray observation data, which you look at it first and you think, oh, okay, that's fine, it's just another observation data. Just make these observation frames, but oh dear, that requires a gamma ray detector. Which requires multispectral mirrors. That's okay. Again, and then the gamma ray detector is another thing where, yeah, basically okay, but oh, there's just one thing in the middle of it here that it requires that I just don't have. So what I'm going to start off doing at the moment is trying to make gamma ray detectors with an obvious gap for where the cryonite slush is going to go in, and just work towards it work towards it, and then eventually we'll have the bits and pieces we need. So there's going to be a couple of belts coming in over here. There's also going to be a couple of fluids, so I'll leave a bit of a gap down here.
So I disconnected all free power.
Ooh. Dun dun dun.
And it's okay for now.
I have 39 UPS. It's pegged at where Tristan's pegging it. So, do you want to risk increasing it a bit, Tristan? See what happens.
No, the machines are still running. So,
oh, the machines still. Oh, right. Okay, so
yeah,
it's a wait now.
I just
Okay,
disconnected
gotcha.
it.
I understand.
I'll disassemble it.
I take back my previous excitement. Disassemble it sort of, I don't know, 2,000 bits at a time or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So put that there. Right. I need to open up FNEI again because I've already forgotten what was needed for these gamma ray detectors. So it's okay. Only 2 solids, so this is going to be sufficient for that. we need the multispectral mirrors and the beryllium plates. And I think I've been sufficiently organised. Are you mirrors? No, you're glass. You are beryllium plates though, so we can come from this is one of them. Bring this all the way down here. Thusly. Split that off here. Yeah. No, not there. There. Click in the right place. That wasn't game lag. That was just me clicking badly. I take full responsibility for that one. That pipe, that purple pipe is in the wrong place. Something's in the wrong. Yes, all this is in the wrong place. No. Also no. Get rid of all of that. That's just wrong. Over here we have that. Okay, that's gonna feed that in. That should be like that. There we go. Over here, let's do this again, but better. Yep, like that. And then that. And that. There we go. And that's the same. That's symmetrical with up there. So the same design as up there. Whatever. So it's, that was probably right. Then I need to find out where I'm bringing in the mirrors. So here, this is where they come in, and then they sort of flood along here in a general mess and cacophony. So, but that's okay. I can spaghetti a fixing around there. So we put that there. Then that like that. And it can come down here. Then we have another splitter like this. Oh, comes round. Wait, I got that wrong. Splitter goes here. Belt comes round like that, and then goes across there. Lovely. And a piece there as well. Right. So that's my two solid inputs for this. So that's a good start. These are. I was going to say these are practically empty now. They're not. They're still being pumped through at quite the rate by this system because liquids just go on forever. Now I need to this is the tricky part because there's not a huge amount of bus space left over here. I'm running a little bit low on seats on the bus. So this chunk here, what are you? Oh, your memory cards. Okay, so you're definitely needed. This chunk here is basically taken up by all of the coolants. This one is taken up by is this scrap? Yeah, scrap disposal and catalogs. I think there's a gap here, but that's going to be for something. That's for glass and coal if I ever want it down here. Probably not going to need coal again. Hopefully won't need coal again. This is frames and then shenaniganery over here. Oh, actually, I've left a bit more space. I've realised that I've not left enough bus space, so I put an extension on the bus over here. That's not so bad then. All right, in that case, I can just bop the pipes over to this column and bring them down here because this is completely empty at this point. Yes, that seems like a good plan. So let's do that. You're better off coming over here, I think. Wait. Let's go from the other side where it's sort of obvious how things are piped together. There we go. So that goes in like that. We then have pipes coming down here. There's going to be an under like that. And then we're going to do the same with this one over here. Let's put this one in this column because it would just make pipe work slightly easier. And there's no point in making my life harder for no reason. So I can go there. So we're now going to have a piece of pipe, potentially, probably 5. No, 7 would do better in there. Stick in a 7 like that, and I think I can put in a 3 across the top. That, and then a straight piece like that to join the two together. Over here, that doesn't look like a 15 to me. I reckon that's a 9, and then a 3. All right, they don't make 12s, so a 9 and a 3 will have to do. So that's going to be my orange goo. That is a single, yes it is. Over here, this is going to be cryonite slush eventually. I'm not going to hook up to it until these tanks are empty though, because that'll just create misery and cocktails and unfortunateness. Who's getting wrecked? Taishakutan? What? That must have been the Taishakutan's a peaceful planet. That must have been a meteor getting through. Oh, what? Oh no! Your delivery cannons have gone berserk.
Oh, yeah, because you have no power on Taisha, I assume.
So? Stop pummeling me, Mark. But that shouldn't matter. It should fail safe, not fail dangerous.
Yeah,
I've switched it to fail safe now.
Thank you.
but you didn't bring any console combinators there.
That's not an excuse to break my factory. Also, it's got loads of power. It's oh no, it hasn't. Yes, it has. Yeah, it's got 900 megawatts, and it's using 250 of it. Have you been playing silly buggers over here, or is it just why did that happen suddenly? Why did it suddenly go boom?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm doing something completely different.
Okay. All right. The power production did drop off. The power usage dropped off. I think some of the core mining drills stopped running. Yeah. What? Why did that happen? What? Yeah. Why was this set up? Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. You said because you set it up to fail dangerous rather than fail safe.
Yeah, because you didn't have a constant combinators to set a -1.
I don't think that's an excuse, I'm afraid. Especially if there is a constant combinator there. There's obviously been some sort of fix that's been sent out. One's been sent out to it.
Are you sure that's not a ghost?
I'm not sure. Oh yeah, it is a ghost. Yes. I could link it up to a cable so we get a steady other signal coming through, and then there could be some cabling at the other end so that says if there's 0 steel, then don't pass anything through.
Do you have any other combinators?
Unlikely. I'll try and see.
Try and place one of each of the others.
No, I don't think so. Looking at it. Got plenty of signal receivers, so I could get a -1 signal of something coming in. No, what I'll
That would actually work in a.
it would.
It's daft, but
what I've done is I've now linked it up to a belt that is apparently just not being used, which has some steel and some stone plates on it. So we can read off either of those. It's going to need to be able to sort of if any steel, then pass through signals, else don't, sort of thing. Oh, yeah. No, hang on, that isn't going to work. Do the subtracting one. Subtract one of each of the things on Norvis, and then say if there is steel, pass that, all of that, plus what's from the receiver through. That would work. Right. Are you doing that, or do I need to do it?
I'm not doing it. I disabled the cannons.
Oh, you disabled the cannons. Okay. I thought Tristan said he'd done something as well.
I'd set the cannons to be less than 0 instead. Just so.
Oh right. Okay. Which cannons are they? Is it these? No, that's the other one.
Yeah, so who's those?
Okay,
That stack.
No, it's this.
Oh,
This
there's
stack.
right. There's 2 of those stacks.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
don't know
One for delivery cannon parts and one for meteor defense parts.
Right.
Taisha. Here we go. Right. So, if I disconnect that, then over here, I'll put it right. Right. So here we need a constant combinator and a decider combinator. And then I need to come back in 3 days when those have been placed and finish off setting it up. Okay, Google. Actually, that should be OK LP bot, shouldn't it? Remind me in 3 days, or 20 minutes or whatever. Right, where was I before I was so rudely interrupted? Oh yes, I was transporting goops around my factory. How long is a 15? A 15 is that long, which is
15 long.
It's a little bit too long for that. I could probably squeeze it. It's slightly too long to be comfortable, but it would just about fit.
So she said.
per. One, two, three, four. Alright, so pass that across here, and then I can then drop this into wherever it is along here that's going to be needed. So here we are going to be making the... that's probably going to be a science thing, isn't it? No, it's not a science thing. It's going to be... here we go. Gamma ray detectors. So I'll make those there. That allows me to get a view on what is going to be fed into the machine where. So I now need... that means I know I need to do that. And then that's probably a 9 across there again. Or 9 and a 5. Nope. 9. The 7... do the 7s have a join in them, a connector in the middle? Yes, they do.
Yes.
Oops, I just made one. Oh, well, never mind. I was going to summon it from elsewhere, but that's fine. Put that there. Right, so that's the orange goop being fed into this machine. There we go. It's got 10 of it. Whole 10 of it. Because it takes... oh, it takes 5 to make one. Okay, that's not... it's not too stupid a number. I'd be mildly annoyed if it was just sort of one piece of chemical gel to make each one. It was just put in there to make the game slightly harder. Even though that is basically, you know, the MO for the entire pack. Then down here. This is going to make it awkward if I ever want to put in... oh, damn it, that's wrong. This is going to make it awkward if I ever need the green goops anywhere further down, but I'll burn that bridge when I come to it. So over here, then we have that go as far as there. Putting a pair of 7s, that works perfectly. That's quite a coincidence. And eventually, I'll learn to line things up properly. So that one was in the right place at first. I just missed. Right, there we go. Okay, and that also means I can put in an underground pipe to get through there, which is even better. Right, so eventually we'll get cryo slush coming down here, but not just yet. Also, this is a 1 square lower than it should be as well. Oh, never mind, I don't care. Eventually these will empty as well. 24, 28. Actually, that's still going down at a visible rate, so I won't rip it up yet. We're not getting any cryo slush for a while anyway, but this will then be able to make, hopefully be able to make, the gamma ray detectors that we need. Oh, I do need to also put in an inserter for this as well. Like that, and an exerter. There we go. Yes, we have power down here from that thing. Okay, so that is, with the notable exception of the cryonite slush. That well, that's enough. Let's just empty this system. Boom, like that. With the notable exception of the cryonite slush, which I can't get yet, that is now the gamma ray detectors. Everything's placed and ready. Actually, no, it's not quite. I need to put in this over here. Like that. There we go. Now that will now, when the cryonite slush arrives, we can start making the gamma ray detectors. Excellent. I now need a large quantity of this space scaffold, because I'm still building. Let's only go out that far for now. I'll build out more when I need it. Okay, so gamma ray detectors. That implies we're now going to need gamma ray telescopes. So let's just bring these out to about here. And I'm probably going to, I imagine I'm going to need the observation frames in here as well. So let's get those, let's get the belt of those brought down as well, which is this one. I'm quite surprised that I haven't had a shortage of these yet, and had to put in another belt of them. But you know, it's working for now, so I won't complain too much. I do have room to put in a third belt of them though, so it's not going to be too much of an issue for. It's not a serious worry. It's just a sort of an I'm surprised I haven't needed to expand this yet. I was expecting to.
Were you not planning on making the advanced furnaces as well?
I am making advanced furnaces.
Are you?
Yes, right next to where I'm making the advanced assembly machines. It even made a couple. I said, oh, it's made a couple, and they're going already. And you said, oh, yes, they're going into my rocket.
Isn't that advanced chemical plants?
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
I misbrained because I'm tired. That's going to be my excuse for everything this evening. Crikey. No, sorry, you're right. I didn't make the advanced furnaces. No, I wasn't going to make the advanced furnaces as well because that was going to be an up in Norvis thing, I think, because they required something weird.
Ah, okay.
Let me check that. Yes, they require energy control units. Which oh no, they're not. I'm sorry. No, I take it back. No, they're not that weird. I must have been there must have been something else that was going to require something very weird like that. Okay. Yeah, I guess in the interest of completeness and while I'm waiting for Cronite, I might as well do that as well then.
Did we want to use the space north of the Norbit Mall for something else, or should I wrap around the side mall for the buildings and expand solar to the right?
We were talking about putting something up there, weren't we?
That was a railway line, which could just cut through the solar fields there,
Ah, okay.
or slightly above that.
Okay.
And
Yeah, so I'll expand to the right then.
Why were we going to put a railway line across there? Because we were going to put something else above further north of it, wasn't it?
spaceport.
Oh,
Oh,
spaceport,
yes.
of course. Yes, I remember. Okay.
So yes, we were thinking of putting something there, but
Yeah, we'll just remove the solars for.
Okay. Steel beams, Mercian
we
beams, electronic components.
could of course put solar down there.
Copper, rare metals. That's an impressive overlap.
Sort of, that's sort of
Yeah.
general, or
Yes,
slightly north of
very
that, to keep the coolant area clear. But all of the science inputs aren't going to spread any further right than they already are.
Yeah, I like the space here by the mall because that's near to all the space scaffolding.
Fair. Yeah.
So it builds a bit more quickly.
Yep.
With a bit less bot flying. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, so most of this stuff is already really close by here. So let's put in a assembly machine here. And take this underground. Damn it. No, stop that. Stop being laggy. There we go. Put that there. Put that there. And then... there.
So if you look at the power graph, we are not keeping up with the space power supplying Norvis on its own. So I'll reconnect the northern free power for now. But it's only a small gap. It's like
Okay.
0.8 gigawatts.
But we've got 3.8 gigawatts spare of production in space.
No, because it's daytime now. Because of the
Oh,
solar.
right. So there's loads of solar being produced on Norvis.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
The joy of being mid-conversion.
Yeah.
It's just one cable to add, and then it's fine.
Okay, so that's the steel beams being made here. Immersion beams are coming in from here. Electronics components are coming in here. I'm going to need to spaghetti those over to here somehow. That shouldn't be too hard. Rare metals and control circuit. Yeah, so those all of these things are. What if I? I'm tempted to move all of this. I want to move all of this across one square, so I'm going to. Let's move it across more than one square for, you know, future-proofing reasons. So when I realise I've... Oh dear, I filled up the chest of shame with an enormous amount of stuff. Oh dear. Right. So, my... Oh, good sake. Stop closing things. Right, so the steel beam, immersion beam, electronic components, and the rare metals are done. So I need to bring in copper and energy control units. So copper will come in from down here somewhere. the energy control units will need to be made here, and that's going to be the difficult part. We'll have a look at that in a moment. I would quite like to program all of this. Oh, it's going to be here forever before we get any of these bits through. Okay, so the copper will, as I said, the copper was the only thing remaining, so the copper can be brought up here. And copper is right at the top of the bus. That makes it really easy to get at.
I do find it slightly weird that copper is at the top and not iron. I've always put iron at the top.
I know what you mean, but it just seems to be like that. For historical reasons. Wait, this also needs electronic... Damn it, this also needs electronic components. Let's move that across. One. And remove that for now. These also go underneath. The batteries, the low density structures, and the immosite crystals are not being brought in anywhere around here. Okay, that's fine. So I'll do that. Oh, that's just... That's copper for this build, isn't it? So I'll bring that up there. That's fine. We don't need that anywhere else. So now... That's... everything. We haven't got power over here, admittedly, at the moment, but that can be fixed. There we go. So that's now everything set up except for the inputs for this system. So I need to bring in low-density structures, lithium-sulfur batteries, and immosite crystals. So that's 2 belts. And well, we'll see where this one has to come to in a minute. Low density structure. Well, let's try and find any of those. What's all this? Oh, this is all sciences. Okay, it's fine. Here's low density structures. That's one of the things I want. And that splits off here. Except earlier because it appears to be the bottom of her. Did I put that in the right place? I think I did. Yeah. No, missed. She goes from there. Yeah, that's better. Right, got it in the right place that time. Bring the belt over. Stop randomly opening things. I don't know whether it's me being less patient or more klutzy because I'm tired, or whether we're on the sort of the cusp of where the game is playable. And noticing my frame FPS is slightly lower than my UPS at the moment. I suspect it might be the latter, but I'm having a lot of frustration from the from clicks not being quite where they're supposed to be, because the game is slightly laggy.
Shall I drop it down a little bit more?
Yeah, I think so. Given that there's a lot of deconstruction happening at the moment, I think that's probably a good idea. Right, we do not appear to have immosite crystals on the bus. I think this is a known issue. I'm just saying that to see if anyone says, no, of course we do. But I'm pretty sure it's just the plates that are on the bus at the moment.
It's...
yes, it's
Yeah.
only 2 plates.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get some of them brought in as well then. I suppose I'll add them to this.
Both the adjacent belts are claimed, so it can't be just a... We haven't put any on, but it does have a designated thing.
Right, okay. No, that's fine. I can just... I've got a delivery cannon chest over here that can accept them as well, I suppose. There we go. Two massively long green underground belts in the right place. That's almost extending the bus one row up, actually, which feels kind of dirty, but it'll do for now. Right, so you are going to make those weird control doobery thingies. Them. Energy control units, that's the one. So that you can make the advanced, very, very advanced furnaces. That one. But you need, in order to do that, you need to make steel beams, which is that one. Game needs to not freeze when I'm clicking on things. Right, there we go. So, steel. Oh yeah, and I need to extend these 2 belts across, 1 more each, so other resources can be got into there. Finally, this needs something else still. Right, what? Why are you the wrong way around? Stop being the wrong way around. There we go. So, low density structure's fine. Electronic components are on their way in now. Lithium sulfur batteries, that's the other thing. Are they on the bus?
Yes, they are.
Oh,
There's
thank
a serious lack of them because of reasons.
Reasons, you say? Does that mean I'm not going to be able to find them?
Yeah, it's the ones next to the plates, underneath the plates, but
Which plates? Oh, the steel plates.
Immersium plates.
No, it's not.
It's supposed to be.
That's
So
not...
on the opposite side from the lithium, the one underneath it.
Oh, and then it
empty.
drops down further along because there was a...
Yes.
Yeah, someone screwed up when they're putting that in because there's a... that's where rocket parts go. Okay,
Well, it's
so
empty at the moment, so I'll fix that.
Okay, so it's going to be the one above, is it?
No, lithium is above. It's the one.
No, I mean the one above where it is now. So it's going to be the one that's currently has got the rocket parts on and is below the immersium plates.
No, where you at your end is going to be where it is.
Oh, okay, right, okay.
I'm just going to have it at the.
Yeah, you're just fixing the
The
other
height
end of the
is
belt.
at the end, all the way along.
Yep, gotcha. I can bring this down from the top and then then turn it all round because I can't tell where it is meant to be at this point. Okay. We've got down far enough. We're getting to the point where the bus is starting to interfere with the filter belt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have enough landfill, right?
It's not actually a
How's-
problem yet. It's just almost a problem. Oh.
No, we've only got 59k landfill.
Oh, oh, that was for the advanced furnaces. Ah, yes. Yes, there wouldn't be much point in putting a copper into a into a steel beam production, would there?
No, just steel beams left.
Yeah.
Shift left. Sneaky way. Feels slightly wrong.
Transport belt does not support moving. Okay, can't do it to that one. Does feel a little bit wrong, but I'll allow it.
What
It's
also
not
feels
giving you
wrong
more
is
throughput, it's just saving you time.
Yeah.
what also feels wrong is designing something in one direction and placing it on Novus in a 90-degree rotated way.
Especially
Don't
when that.
recognize it anymore.
I was going to say, especially when that causes the pipes to not link up properly.
I did use the big ones.
No, you can't. You can't draw the pipes. You can't draw the belts backwards. So I don't think you can. No, you can't. You can't. No, you can draw belts backwards. You can't draw underground belts backwards, unless
Yeah,
it's...
if you draw a... Oh, in the first place, yeah.
Hmm.
But if you drag over a belt that is facing right with one that's facing left and hit an underground belt, it'll turn that round as well.
Right. Okay. That might work. It might be a possible way around it. Right. Okay. You can have so you can have your furnaces once you get your once you sort out the lithium batteries. I'm going to go off and find some immosite.
There's some on
crystals.
the belt on the way
Okay.
to you.
Okay. Immosite. That means Taurus. So we go over here. We find an unused gun and delivery whatever.
Yeah, I put a unused one in the middle there. The most right crystal gun is unused.
Wrong.
Wrong?
The most right-hand crystal gun is firing at Norvis orbit.
Ah.
It's possible it's been claimed by somebody since you put it in, but it's currently in use.
Oh no, yeah, I then use it.
Yeah, I would say all of
No, I was
those are in
checking,
use because they are.
Because on I think in Novus orbit we were only firing from the old planet, so we
Okay.
didn't have a lot of crystals and plates.
Yep, I can certainly believe that. Fits the symptoms, as it were. Right, I'll put not there.
So at one point there was a free gun there. This stream.
Once upon a time,
Yeah.
many years ago. Don't do that. Oh, apparently alright, do that, I don't care. Oh wait, no, that's wrong. Where's insert of this? There's insert of this. So that one's still active, so I'll rotate that. Try and spaghetti something in there. Oh, that'll work, that's fine. As long as we don't run out of red belts on this planet, of course. And if I put in a splitter there, I can put in a... We're playing with red. But
We are not getting
the
the iridium ingots to Norvis for the advanced assemblers.
Okay. Some did arrive. I'll go and have a look at what's going on with that in a minute.
There, I can look there from Koldar.
Yes, Kothar.
This is a huge mess.
Mike was being very proud of it earlier. Or at least proud of the fact he built it big enough.
Yeah, we need a searching mod.
Mark says Kothar
The one I'm
was a huge
using in
mess.
the Pyrun is quite nice. The search mod there.
Okay.
Here.
There we go. There's my receiver. That will be the heavy bearings Norvis bus. And I can now wire that in from here. Oh no, I can't because that pylon hasn't been placed yet. I can at least connect that one to there and then tell that to not run unless there's fewer than 0 of those. To stop it overloading it, and up to that and there. And you need to start firing at Norvis to specifically there. And then go. Right.
Yeah, I'm afraid to say, Mike isn't producing fast enough.
Yep, I knew it. I knew it was going to happen.
So I'm currently emptying the buffer in this train station to keep up with the demand. But you might want to have a look at that.
Yeah, fine. You might be waiting a while for that to happen.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, there are like 40,000 ingots in buffer.
Wasn't there a fairly obvious bottleneck? Something like...
That's not quite what I meant, Mark. I mean, you've given the command to bots to do that.
Does Mike mean you mean there aren't any bots on that planet?
Oh, there's bots on that planet. There's plenty of them.
But that's not in the Roboport network?
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
We can do something really boring but helpful, like that. You completed about a second before I did. Are there any roboports on this planet? There will be, yeah, it's on its way.
Well, don't worry. At some point in the future, we'll invent spaceships, and then we can send a spaceship over and hook it up to the train system and pull all that iridium out of that station that you've made. Yes, we have indeed built the space elevator. I don't believe we've actually sent anything through it yet, but there is indeed a space elevator over here, and it is now, the cable is now finished, and it is hooked up to the railway system. Actually, we have sent some stuff through it. We've sent an enormous quantity of power through it so far, and we are currently expanding the solar network up here to get us more power, so we can send all of that through the elevator as well. Did I finish what I was in the middle of? Let me make sure. It's kind of hard to tell because there aren't enough batteries coming through. So there aren't any energy control units yet. But it does have some of all of its ingredients, so I think that's probably going to work. Oh, I need to tell this to stop when it gets to a certain number. This is making the advanced furnaces, which is that one. And again, we'll say 200 of those. Right.
That's the lithium whatever batteries, is it?
Yes, the
Well, they've just
lithium
not
sulfur
arrived
batteries.
yet.
2 have arrived,
Okay, I'm
but no more.
dragging an upgrade over the run of belts.
I don't think that's the problem. I think they all just went into other things like the rocket.
Ah.
So we need more lithium sulfur batteries.
Yep, they're being produced. It's just
look at that stream of bots. We stutter. We stutter. Oh yeah, there are actually there's loads pouring along the bus now, just behind where the bots were upgrading the belt. So that will have helped a bit to get them through a bit quicker or a bit sooner. In fact, yeah, it looks like. Oh, was there a train load that just hadn't? Did you kick a train into going a little bit sooner than it otherwise would have done?
So technically yes, but it was I was upgrading the station at the other end to use less UPS.
Oh, okay. Still see the shape of all the bots that were going along doing that belt upgrade. Right. Anyway, over here, this is what we care about. We care about the batteries, making it all the way up to this end of the bus and going in there. But as I say, I think this is all properly set up now. We've got the this has got the first 2 batteries in there, so that's going to work. This has got everything except the energy control units, so when the batteries arrive, that will start to work. So I think we can call that done and not revisit it until we find an actual until someone tells me there's an actual problem with it. So back over to here, right? And now this area has been expanded a little bit. I can carry on with my shenanigans. Oh, I do need to expand this a bit further, so I know where to put. So I can put the Roboport in somewhere. So it's going to go about there. So I'm going to. In theory, that should be like that, because then I can go about there, and then switch over to that, make it an appropriate size, and then put the Roboport in, and realise I've not made it an appropriate size because Roboports are slightly chunkier than I realised. Make it a little bit bigger. And the Roboport's in the wrong mode anyway. There we go, put that there. Now we've got a bit more coverage, and that'll get most of this area over here. Anyway, so gamma ray receiver Dubry frames. So that means I need to put in some gamma ray telescopes. I think I'm going to wish I'd left some more. Oh no, actually no. The coolant can come in the side. That should be okay. So telescopes. This is now getting back into the normal how every single other astroscience works. We take the appropriate type of telescope, which in this case is the gamma ray telescope. We get that from the we tell the bots to bring us the gamma ray telescopes, and we put them in like this. Let's do 2 for now. let's do 3, completely arbitrarily, and just run them up against the edge of that pylon there. My intention now is to then run the coolant in along here, like that, and out along the bottom in exactly the same way. I don't know why I'm doing this manually rather than copying and pasting, but I'm nearly there now, so I'll just carry on. And like this. So that's the coolant. We can then bring the frames and whatnots in like that, and then feed the output out down here. And once the stuff arrives, we'll have a bit of a look at what the output consists of, and therefore how much filtering I'm going to need to do on the other side. Oh yeah, thank you. Yes, you're right. I'm running quite low on air packs. What's going to be the easiest way to get some of those? Are you?
Tristan, are you on a side job working on the cryonite still?
Yes.
Okay.
There we go.
Because Holmium is quite struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did the sort of the usual thing where you set up a load of infrastructure to produce all of the resources you need, and then go out and build a load of stuff, and then go, oh, we haven't got enough of this anymore. We need more of everything. Well. Okay, so this is going to eventually produce the exposed frames for that. We're also going to need, what was the other one for Astro 3? Astro 3 is also radio wave data, and those are going to... Oh yeah, those are massive telescopes, I think, the massive dish type ones. Radio telescope? Yes, you. Let's put them in a bit further down, actually. Let's not try and do it. Let's not try and be clever about mixing stuff onto the same belt. Let's keep them separate, for the sake of sanity, mostly. I'll put in 3 of those as well, and then we'll decide how much we actually need in a moment. So if I take that out there, I can then bring... so we will, again, here, we will have, in exactly the same way, we will have a belt coming in with the frame things on it, and a belt coming out with the exposed things, like that. So that's going to need, again, I can do pipes like this for this one, to be different. No, let's not be different. Let's try and be consistent. What am I being brought more? Because I am about to suffocate. Right, let's turn that on, and then I'll actually be brought the stuff I need. I've got a minute and a half for these things to arrive. Do you think it's going to be long enough? I think I'm going to...
It'll be fine.
I think I'm going to turn that back off again and go and get some manually, because, yeah, this is cutting a bit too close. A bit too close for comfort.
Can't you hold your breath for some, like, half an hour afterwards anyway?
Yes. But still, I'd rather not cut it too fine. Let's just go in and grab them by hand. It's going to be easier. Ooh. In theory, it's going to be easy. It depends how many frames per second I'm actually getting at the moment. Take another 3 packs of those. Oh, here come the logistics bots to take the dirty ones away as well. I've got a lot of junk batteries as well. Oh yeah, I should go unwanted batteries. But those can be dumped onto the junk belt, can't they? So that's alright, I can get rid of them that way. But since I'm over here, it might be easier. No, it probably isn't easier. I seem to be doing it anyway. Fly down here, get rid of anything like inventory. Oh. I'm down to 18 frames per second again. Are we still... I don't know what we're still, but...
I didn't do anything. Nothing new, at least. No?
There's new in there. Right, let's head back over now. I'm not going to suffocate. And I've got just over 4 hours of air left now, so that might keep me going for the rest of the stream if I'm lucky. It's 10 o'clock. If it doesn't keep me going for the rest of the stream, then I'm going to die of lack of sleep. He says, with absolutely no melodrama whatsoever. Right, where was I before I was so rudely interrupted by, basic biological needs? Pipe in like that. And that. There we go. Right, so that's the output. So that's going to actually I've just assumed this is going to be warm out of both of them. Yes, output's warm, output's warm. Good. And outputs observation frames and thermofluid. Outputs observation frames, thermofluid, and scrap. Lovely. Okay, well that's. I mean it is a solved problem, to be fair. So I'm not going to get too upset about that. I need some underground belts for this as well, like that and that. Then need to filter out the scrap along here. Why is scrap hard to find? There it is, scrap. Right, I should have that come out the other side. And then where is my scrap belt? It's going to be the one that flows upwards. It's this one. So from here, as usual, underground belts. That. That happened surprisingly quickly. Oh, there's still a little supply of them there. That's why. And then stop. I don't care if I've got them in my inventory or not. That's not how I play this game. And let's split these off from here just because I can. There we go. Okay, so that's my two. No, I wasn't going to do that. That's right. So that's my two. That's my two types of frames coming through now. So that's that all done. I need to copy. Well, I need to do that and that and I need to copy. No, actually, let's set all the pipe work up first. So I want to do from there to there to that to that, and then I can copy that over this one. Boom. And oh, inserters would be useful. Actually, you know what else would be useful? Putting in these pipes. Okay, maybe I did it on the top. I don't know where I did it. Can't see because there's a massive radio dish in the way. But still, that seems to be complete now. So over here we've got the the warm being taken out here. We should deal with. So I need to deal with that, which goes over here. This belt should not be here. This belt should be further to the other side. Let's get this right. That should come down here, and that should come down there. Right. Then this fluid can then I need to bring down the thermofluid. So we've got the warm one here, like that, and nope, that's too long. Oh no. The belts have collided. The things have collided. All right, we'll bring us through up here then. Probably the other side of it. But what do we need for these? This one takes in supercooled. Probably takes in super. Yeah, they all take in supercooled now because it's the most advanced ones. So we need more of this. And then from down here we bring this one up as well, so it's going to be here. Oh, I'm going to have another collision with that pipe, that one as well. Everything's too close together. That was convenient. That fits quite well. Put that there. This, I could move that forward actually. That. And then there's going to be room for this pipe to come through here. And and hook up to there and there. And then we're going to need, and over here actually as well. Wind up pipe through like that. Then down here we need to extend this one. Across here. And this is the cold one again, so we get nice long ones down here. And is that 7? No. Right, that's all of the inputs now, except for the cryonite slush up here. But it's all the inputs for all of these stages. So these ones are going to start running now. That's going to work quite. That's going to be everything they need, at least once all the building's done. Then the next step is going to be turning the exposed frames into the actual science pack. So for that, we're going to need a load of space, because you always need to have something to build on, like this. Let's be neat, otherwise somebody will complain. There we go. Nice area to build in, and as usual, that's going to be done with the orrery type things. So we've got the radio wave data, goes into the astrometrics facility, and there's a 60% chance of it actually being useful. So you're taking 6 of them, and you might get 1 data card out if you're lucky. That's awful, but we are going to need blank data cards down here for this. So where were blank data cards last? Oh, here's some. Here they are. You'll need to be faster with your complaints, I guess. And even then, due to stream lag, I'll probably still have fixed it before you complain. I'm just that efficient. Right. So what I think I'm going to do here is, I'm going to bring the data cards in the middle, and then have it split off onto both the outer belts, and then grab these two, and then have and then have the outputs come out around the outside. Go from there. If I could have some space scaffolding and some bots to lay it, that'd be nice. What are you guys doing? You've just all got belts. Where's all the space scaffolding I requested? Has Mark used it all up? No, there's still 8.8 thousand in this chest alone, and 23,000 in the entire logistics system. It must just be the bots are being lazy, or distracted, or I don't know. How many bots do we have available at the moment? Anyway. Or have I gone outside the Roboport? Oh, that's the problem. The Roboport was outside the Roboport area. That's the problem with the Roboports in construction mode. They are more than capable of building out. The range you need to put them at in order to get sort of perfect coverage is longer than the range of what do we call it? Oh, hello Okinawa and 8 other people. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. Hello. Are you also a Factorio player? I'm guessing you probably are, since you've come in here. And if so, are you also playing space exploration? Because that's the big question around this sort of thing. Yep, that's a very Factorio-based emoji. So I'm guessing you are. Well, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. I hope you've had a good stream yourself. And wow, that's a lot of just space exploration. Space exploration straight up. That sounds good. I did that with 0.5, and I thought that moving up to SE 0.6, it'd be a good idea to try something slightly different. So I thought I'd drag some more people along to join in and give me a hand with some of the more difficult bits, and also give me some support, and then because that was going to make it easier, I thought adding in Krastorio² to make it harder as well seemed like only fair. So yeah, it's going pretty well so far, I think. We haven't driven ourselves into complete insanity, just partial insanity.
You speak for yourself. I've been insane for years.
Yeah, but you haven't been driven to it by Krastorio, which is the main thing. It's going pretty well. On Astro 3 at the moment, as you can. I don't know how obvious it is, but at this point, it's making the sort of the actual science packs themselves is basically the same as with K2, as without K2. Yeah, but the difference is in the effort and awkwardness required to make all of the raw ingredients, I think. Yeah, we've gone for basically the same design I used in my 0.5 run, where we've got this sort of big spine railway running up the middle here, and then spurs coming off it, and on each spur you can then have things. So we've got the main mall up here, for example. I made a video of how my whole space bus system works recently over on my YouTube channel. Then we've got bioscience happening up here, recycling and energy science and miscellaneous making more stuff and astro. In theory, you're only supposed to put one thing in each of these gaps, but Tristan reckoned he wasn't going to expand his I can't talk today. His coolant any more than this, and it was okay to put this in over here. And then he realised how big the plasma was going to get, and is possibly regretting it. I don't know. But
not yet.
Not yet, but there's only a relatively small amount of gap. And then over here we've got Mike's massive material monstrosity. And then in the middle we've got the cute little science production. So we bring in all the catalogues, and then we've got everything. I'm quite pleased with this design here, where the catalogues all come in, and then you feed the science packs backwards through it, and then the subsequent machines grab any that they need, and then any spares will then flow out the end and go off to be actually scienced. So yeah, quite pleased with I'm mostly pleased with the general design. I think it's coming together quite nicely.
Did anybody else place some wet area beacons on Norvis?
No,
I've requested
not me.
Ah, so it's you.
Blame.
Yeah, I made like 27.
And you had very specific places specific places in mind for every single one of them.
2 are still in the rocket, so 25 are Norvis, and I'm not getting any, and I need like
I
10.
requested 25.
Yep, that'll do it. So I need
they're
that
in
1,
this
2,
rocket.
3, 4, 5, 6 for now.
So for by in blocks,
Oh,
so you mean sort of the fairly standard city block sort of style, do you? Yeah, I mean we sort of considered that. I don't have the patience or attention to detail for city block style building, I'm afraid.
Okay.
That's not going to get placed either. Oh well, okay. Well, thanks for joining. Good night, and yeah, thanks. As I say, thanks for dropping by the stream and bringing some more people in. I hope you all enjoy all stick around and enjoy the run and how everything's going, and maybe join for the next stream. To be honest, I'm going to be going to bed in relatively soon, like in an hour or so, because it's getting a little late over here as well. Sorry, I shall stop interrupting you two now, but I felt I needed to talk to stream a little bit.
I'll drop 6 of them out
Perfect.
into a purple chest. I've turned the constant combinator off, so presumably you're going to request them quite quickly.
Why is this not getting?
Yeah, they're placed on Norvis, so the construction bots will get them.
Other place stuff has taken priority over the requested chest.
They've just got pipes.
Yeah,
Before.
it doesn't seem to.
Where are all the construction bots? What are they doing? We've got 6 construction bots in the air. That's those ones. Bring these pipes over, but they're not building up all this scaffolding.
That's a logistics bot that's grabbed them.
Have I noobed up in some obvious way here? It's all the same Roboport network. It's covering this area. We can't have run out, can we?
We're not missing any scaffolding from Norbit.
Yeah, we've got 24,000 scaffolding available. Are the bots just on strike? What's going on? I mean, this is Factorio, so I assume I've done something dumb, and it's not. Oh, suddenly all the bots are on the move. No, it's just the yeah, and they're going for the
They're
scaffolding.
3 miles north.
No, it wasn't even that. They weren't in use. It was just that because the factory has grown so far, the bots, it takes a while for it to scan around and go, oh wait, here's something we can go off and build. And by so large, I mean it's probably because of that rather large logistics network we have on Norvis, because that is crazy. What do you think, guys? Bit much?
Nah, needs to be bigger.
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the people whose opinions I value. It's
Right.
apparently not fine, because it takes long enough for the bots to realise there's something for them to build that I get worried and think everything's broken.
It's fine.
Mark, Norbis
Yes.
no longer says it's missing those beacons, so I think I'm fine to turn this back on and request those 6
Yeah,
back.
they haven't been placed yet, but I assume the robots are.
They must be on their
way.
way if it's
Yeah.
not listed in the missing materials.
Yeah.
Are more going to be brought down with the next rocket?
Yes, which is production of them is limited by holmium, which is limited by cryonite, which is limited by you doing other stuff.
Which no, is limited by me not having the beacons
Yeah.
come out here.
I'm sensing some circular problems here.
Yeah.
Circular dependencies,
No,
rather.
I don't need
what's on
all of
their
the
way?
beacons.
No, I won't start another design this evening. So with those placed, I'm happy.
Did you do? I'm not saying this accusingly, just more out of curiosity. Did you do the red circuits? Because I know you were talking about that early on.
Yes, I made a complete green, red, and blue circuit, but blue I only did the holmium cable design, the new one.
Okay, cool.
So we won't.
So in that
have enough for
case,
that.
point if you you may have already thought of this. You can redirect the red circuits that are being produced for making in the old place that's producing them and to put
Yeah,
send them all
I'll
into blue
redirect that.
circuitry.
Yeah, but I'll wait till the new one is running here.
Oh right, yes, yeah. Does that require wide area beacons as well?
Yeah, that's the one I was waiting for.
Oh, and the what are we short of, Omatron, says we are short of silicon and rare metals and plastic and lithium and coal.
Rare metals, jeez.
Yeah, apparently. Well, it says 0, so it's either broken or we're very short of it.
We're fairly short, but it's not 0.
We're also getting yellows for red circuits, heavy oil, crude oil, and apparently completely out of lube, rocket fuel, liquid rocket fuel, and sulfuric acid. But again, part of me sort of doesn't trust a 0 on these things. It makes me think it's not
That
connected.
better?
Sorry?
That better.
For which one? Oh, rare metals, yes. There's now 1 block of rare metal showing. And 2 blocks of silicon.
And the stone products.
Yeah.
So glass and silicon.
Yeah, so it's so yes, they're very, very low, but they are no longer 0. Plastic is apparently 0, and as I said, lube, liquid rocket fuel, and sulfuric acid.
Plastic is indeed 0.
Oh dear. Okay.
Why is that?
Yeah. So, do you think we might have been expanding too fast recently, and we've sort of left behind all of our resource everything? Yeah, No God has a good point here. He says once you have them, everything requires wide area beacons because why wouldn't you? I mean that's true to quite a large extent. Yes, I'm not going to argue very much with that suggestion.
Funny thing, I never used them because I thought that the standard beacons were like 100% efficiency and the wide areas were 50%.
Oh.
And until you mentioned that in your video, like the second last video, I never knew that.
There are some very small beacons that do
Yeah.
100%, but you can put much fewer modules in, and they're only really
okay.
effective for a single building, I think. So,
I
or
never
for a small
used
number of buildings or something like that. So,
okay.
if you
Small
if you
area
have
beacons, basically.
yeah. So
Yeah,
if you have
but
a
I
very
never used
small
the right
area that you
ones
want to
yet,
affect,
yeah.
then yes, they're
No,
good.
they're 75%.
Oh, 75%. Okay, still better
10
than
module slots.
all right.
So 7.5 strength versus the 4 strength for the basic one, or the 7.5 for the wide area one.
Okay.
So
if you're only wanting one building or a couple of close buildings, such as some science labs,
Yeah.
you should use the.
And if you want to use some
compact
really expensive beacons, modules, sorry, because then you don't have to use as many of them to get the effect.
We should probably replace the one by the science lab with a compact one, if we actually research it.
Yeah, or if we get any beacons that are expensive enough for us to care about it as well.
I'm gonna upgrade all the modules in plastic area to tier 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's a lack of oil. So more productivity will help. Yeah.
Speaking of modules, makes me remember that I was going to do some upgrading, trying to do some upgrading of the ones in the science labs. Completely forgot about that through all of the other exciting stuff that's been going on. So yeah, that's a thing to go on the old to-do list. this. More. And kind of more. There's some gaps in the scaffolding. Oh, but these produce junk as well, don't they? Right, okay, so we need to filter that. Let's put in a splitter there, and I'm going to assume this one's going to produce junk as well, because they're bound. Yes, it does. So, from here, let us filter out the... What are we actually making here? What are these... What do you do? You're doing the red ones, okay. So we'll filter out the red data cards here. That's that one, radio wave. To the... Yeah, sure, that's fine. And then down here, we'll filter out the purple ones, gamma, downwards like that. Alright, so that means we can now bring that to here, and that to here. Yeah, that's fine. And here's my junk disposal, but no, don't get caught on the belts, silly man. I can come over here like this, as can this one. Why do I always seem to have one piece of belt that just then immediately gets dropped when I try and drag like that? I think I know the answer to that, actually, so don't bother to answer it. It's just because I just keep demolishing little bits of things and then ending up with a little bit in my inventory, it's because I keep doing building from, you know, normal mode rather than switching back and forth between navsat mode and normal mode. So that causes minor headaches. Right, so then there we go. You see it's happened again. That comes down there like that. And there's my first two memory cards. Kind of. Well, we'll get the first one out like this already. So that's now done. We've got one of the 4 memory cards. Hurrah! Just need to get all the rest of them. Just get the other 2 out now. So one of those I know is going to require the, what are they called? The astrometric data cards. That's these ones, and I've deliberately left it so I can now just pull these off down here like this. Yeah, I can go underneath that. That's not a problem. And that all the way down here somewhere. Oh wait, hang on, Trout. I put in the machine for no apparent reason. I put in the machines that are making the catalogs up here. So let's switch around. Have a little belt switcheroo here, and feed those upwards. Like that, and there we go. That's going to be that's my first 2 belts, first 2 data cards. I've set this up in a weird way. I don't know why I've done it like this. Actually, I do. It's because it's because I was building this belt, and I thought it made sense to have this belt go from both of these at the same time. So it's a little odd, but it'll do. Then I need to go underneath that like that, and then carry on down here, and then this belt can pick up the other 2 types of data cards when I eventually produce them. For some reason, this is still not getting built. It is inside the Roboport network. Could we? Is it possible that we've run out of these pylon substations? I mean, it is possible. Many things are possible. Let's find out.
In space?
Yeah.
Yeah, I requested some, so we have them on Novus.
Yeah, I've requested some so they can be built and power stuff, and I don't seem to have got them. Maybe we've run. Which is why I'm wondering if we've run out. Yeah, we've run out. Why have we run out?
Yeah,
we do not have any holmium solenoids because we do not have any holmium cables because
I have 29 in a chest here. I'll just deconstruct the chest so you have them.
No, it's all right. The holmium cables have just started coming through again, so we're about to start. Well, a burst of them just came through. I assume we're bringing holmium in with delivery cannon or something, and there's just a little burst of it happening. Yeah, holmium is coming in by delivery cannon, but we're very short of it. So. Cannon came in. We've got a load of cables, plates through out of it, obviously, and so now we're getting a load of cables through, and so we're able to at least build some of them. But they're all a lot of them are disappearing into the wide area beacon construction. So that's what's changed. That's why suddenly we don't have enough of them. I see. We're now also making these energy control units up in space as well. Yeah, so there's a bit of a fight between the wide area beacon construction and the pylon substation construction. We made 3 of them though, so that'll at least satisfy my immediate needs as long as you've stopped taking them away for other purposes.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, I need exactly 3. Well, actually, put that one down there. No, oh no, I shouldn't do that actually. Put it over there because otherwise I won't have power for that roboport, and then that's kind of needed.
Green circuit.
Right. So, yeah, exactly. So yeah, compact beacon. Yeah, it makes sense actually. Yes, compact beacons would work well with the advanced machines if you're not using as many of them. Although I think most of the places where we're going to be using the advanced machines are areas where we have absolutely enormous builds going on, and therefore we're going to be putting down. We're going to be needing large numbers of even the advanced machines. Although if some of them are going to be quite big, so I don't know how many you'll be able to squeeze around even a wide area beacon. But I guess that's something somebody else is going to be finding out at the moment. I'll build that one up a bit later myself, I think.
Tristan, may I ask what's the reasoning behind the copper ingot buffer stations?
Where?
Basically, we didn't have a copper ingot drop station yet, and there was a copper ingot buffer station where we have the priority buffers.
Oh right, because there needs to be some for the rockets down here.
Ah,
So
okay.
if that's just sitting in the pickup station,
Yeah.
then
Airframe
it breaks
scaffolds.
everything.
Gotcha.
It's 10:30, by the way.
Thank you. Airframe scaffolds. What were airframe scaffolds were short of cryonite as well, weren't they? Which seems cryonite seems like a weird thing to require for making airframe scaffolds, but it kind of is. Apparently is. So yeah, the theory is once we get a nice steady supply of cryonite down here, we'll start making lots and lots of these aeroframe scaffolds. They can then be put onto the train system, and then they can go up my space train up to space, and I'll have right. Okay, so I think this is going to put another pause in my construction at the moment. However, that does mean I could start thinking about what I want to put into my Astro train, which is this one. This one's Astro. You know, one thing we haven't considered: how we're going to tell trains to depart.
Apart from where? To where?
From on Norvis when they are full of a mismatch of miscellaneous stuff, some of which might not be full stacks. So you can't use depart when full.
I'm already thinking on that. I've spent most of the last hour and a half designing a logic circuit or a series of logic circuits to
You
basically
depart when there's something on the belt, basically, but nothing flowing.
Yeah, I was going to say it is a solved problem because I solved it before when I had spaceships in my 0.5 run because I had the same problem there. Yeah, what you do is I'll sketch it down here and show you in a second. Actually, I won't do it here because it'll just get built. Where can I find somewhere that's outside the Roboport network? That's the first challenge. What you do is... I'm building this on a slightly larger scale than strictly necessary, but whatever. Right, what you do is you set up your belts and inserters like this, and you have the bottom inserter prioritized to the left-hand side. You then read off the right-hand, and the top one probably prioritize input for the right-hand side. It doesn't really matter though. You then read off the one of the belts on the right-hand side, and if there's anything on that belt, then you know that the belt has stopped flowing, and therefore it's time to send the train off to bring stuff up to orbit.
If you want to be extra safe, you read off. You convert everything into the same signal and wait until you have 8 or something.
You could do that, yeah. So that's how I've done it before. How different and how much more overcomplicated is your system, Mike?
So my system starts with a memory system to detect that it's got a request in.
Okay.
To fill in with whatever it is. Then it will pass that over to the belt system, which is relatively straightforward. Just let the things through on the belt when required, so that you get the right things that will fill up a warehouse. I say fill up, that will put the necessary quantity into a warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
It then freezes the whole system and says, right, that warehouse can now be loaded into the train, but don't fill anything else in until the train comes back. So what I'm aware of is what you might end up happening is a train gets stuck in a logjam somewhere, and what you don't want to do is to have your station effectively fill up with 20,000 of the same things. You're not going to get through. Your whole system becomes deadlocked because the train got
You
stuck
should never
in.
end up with the concern is you'll end up with double what you expect to, because you'll ask for 100 of something. 100 will be put into a train. The train will set off, and another 100 will be put into the warehouse. And until the train comes back again, you don't know that that's on the train. A simple system wouldn't know about it until it's dropped off, and so. But then I think getting double of the things is probably going to be okay, because this is going to be ingredients for science. You're just going to churn through. And as long as you're vaguely aware of it, I don't think that's a problem.
The simple system there is to just make sure that you got 2 trains worth that can fill in at the other, or double the request that can fill at the other end.
Yeah. So the only challenge really I see is in telling the train when to go, and yeah. So how does your system trigger the train? So you're sending a signal to the train to tell it to go? Are you?
So the train goes when full,
because that won't ever happen.
Yeah, so that was where I was then saying I want to summon it in train loads.
Oh, I see.
So I was tackling the problem from the other end, from where you're coming from. You're coming from how does the train know when to depart? I mean, you could just say when activity is nothing and just accept it's going to go more often than it needs to. Well, no activity for, let's say, 30 seconds. Except that sometimes it'll go more than once.
Well, you could have just moved the... Is that still not far enough? Just to move the loaders up?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't look at where how much space there was on the... Yeah, I could have moved them up 2 squares. That might have been enough. I might do that anyway, just to give them... Actually, no, that'll be all right.
So you can do it by activity and say, well, I'm not loading anything in right now, so it's probably because I've loaded everything, or because I don't care, and therefore it's...
Or because the train's just... yeah. Or you've got everything. You've got everything you need, and the train has just gone back down to wait for some more stuff, and is empty.
You could have and is not empty.
Yeah.
Can you have and it's not empty as a logic requirement?
Probably.
Bring me a train.
Maybe. Not sure.
I don't think so. No, you could go item count anything greater than 0 or something.
That counts, just. Yeah, but...
Oh, except you can't put anything in there. You'd have to select a thing.
Yeah, which means that thing would have to go every single time.
I mean, I have no problem with you doing it in a different way to the way I'm doing it, but I'm going to recommend my way because I've used it and it basically works.
Yeah, I mean, it's as long as you don't mind the possibility of having a load of stuff come through when you're not expecting it.
You will get, yeah. There's, as I say, there's the risk or expectation of getting double what you ask for. So you just take that. I think you have to take that into account.
Yeah, I mean, I was down to is there a way of detecting when a train is on a specific piece of track?
Technically, yes.
Signal behind it.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Okay, Laurence, I take it you're claiming that station rather than the one that was Astro.
Oh,
I'll swap them over there.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I meant to. I went in and thought and checked and went, yes, it's the second one in is the Astro one, and then I went and looked at the warehouses and started working on the second warehouse in. Sorry, I'm apparently a muppet. I'm going to once again. I'm going to blame my tiredness levels. It's a useful scapegoat, that, especially as it's actually true. Right, so what am I going to need for the Astro train? I'm going to need these scaffold things. I'm going to need, which come from here. I'm going to need coal, which comes from here. And I'm going to need to rebuild the station for that. I'm going to need Yes, you can wire train signals to the circuit network. I believe you can set them to be red at specific times, and you can also find out what colour they are.
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't. At least you can set them. I don't know if you can.
I
Read
believe
color.
I'm pretty sure you can read them. I think you can also set them.
You can read them, yes. And
Okay, I'm sure you can set them because I used that once.
Okay.
You can. I'm looking at read now. You can read it and have a different signal for when the thing's on red, yellow, and green.
That makes sense. That's what I would assume for a reading would be. Yeah, I had someone on chat was asking was expressing curiosity and surprise about being able to wire up train signals, and yes, you can use it to make a train detector. The other way to make a train detector is to stand on the rails, and when you get a death message pop up, you know there's a train has passed.
Yeah, I mean that works.
What's going on here? Oh, I see. I need to run some land down the middle of this, so let's start from, I don't know where, but let's start. I'm going to want some coming down from. How am I going to get coal out of here? With that, probably go up, I guess, across the top, and then down here. So we're going to want a strip of land that goes. Let's go down here because then it won't interfere with those pumps that are for copper processing. Go through here. And let's just continue straight down to about here, and then go across. Do the same with a bank of, with some landfill from here for the second lot. And these, I suspect, over time, there's a pretty good chance we'll make these wider. So I'm going to leave plenty of spare space. Also going to suffer seriously from lag. 1, 2, 1, 2. That's about there, I think. So that comes across here. I don't know if we're going to get any bots doing half of this stuff because they're all going to be busy elsewhere. But sorry, it's going to be out of Roboport range as well. But never mind. And we'll have the third lot come down here, across this island conveniently, and then yeah, over about here. So what I propose is that for each thing we bring out, we use a separate belt. So, for example, if I want coal and Mike wants coal, we bring 2 belts out from the coal station at the top and just have them running parallel to each other, rather than doing a sort of a bus and splitting it type system.
There is logic there. It's then squeezing those in where it's not a... Because at that point you want the right-hand station to have all the left-hand column stuff and sort of spread out from that sensibly.
Ideally, yes, but I think we'll just have to deal with underground belts. It's not going to be too bad.
We're all going to want copper, right?
I don't think I do for Astro. I mean, I do for making memory cards for Astro, but I don't think I need it for Astro itself.
Trying to think how many resources are duplicated more than, let's say, 4 times.
That's a good point. I suppose the throughput that we're going to need is probably going to be less than a green belt per resource. So yeah, okay, we could just bring each one down once. That'll probably be fine. And then splitter it as a normal bus style. Okay, yeah, I don't mind too particularly.
And that way we get more spaghetti.
Oh yeah, reason in and of itself. Yeah, sure.
Wasn't quite where I was going. I was more going with there are 12 resources that are going to be needed 3 times each. Okay, that's 36 belts wide plus.
No, but we don't all need all of the resources. Stop being so greedy.
No, we don't all need all of them, but I will bet you that there are a non-trivial number that most of us, say 3 of us, will want.
I
realised you need like 80, 90, 100 belts wide.
On one hand, I dispute that. I don't think you're right. I don't think the individual science packs all need quite as many resources as you're seeing. You're being thrown off a bit by your requirement to build the material science testing packs. However, on the other hand, there's more than 4 different places the things are going up to. The mall will require blooming everything, and. Yep. The general construction area will probably require some stuff as well. So there's a few extra things as well. So given that, then yes, maybe.
don't know how many things you're having to make on site.
Yeah, and currently I'm bringing in. Let me check. Let me check my thing. I'm bringing in four different types of resource to. Well, I'm bringing in 4 different types of resource by delivery cannon. There are a couple of other things coming in by train, such as memory cards and thermofluid and mirrors and orange goop and eventually cryonite goop. But basically, I'm bringing in 4 things that are coming up from. Well, actually, only 3 of those are coming up from Norvis, and actually, only 2 of those are solids. One's a liquid, so that's going to come up separately once we get
Yeah, so
fluid trains.
glass and coal, you and me both need.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a look down. What else?
Stream area needs glass, I think.
Yeah, glass is going to be a popular one, I think, actually.
Glass,
So
yeah.
I need glass, coal, beryllium, light oil, aeroframe scaffolds, and if we start to go a bit further with our efficiency things, then I might start bringing. No, actually, that still might be about it. Yeah, everything else has just been processed on site.
You and I don't have a huge amount of synergy then.
No, which is why we're not sharing a train.
Shiny uranium, rare metals,
Rare metals
green
here.
circuits, copper. Oh, blue circuits as well, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, who's is this, Laurence? Is this your area with the various clouds?
No,
No.
that's a
it's
general
just-
everybody. That's a general everybody
Okay.
area.
Yeah. So,
Although technically, it's probably mostly Tristan because of he's the cloudy one.
Yeah.
fair enough. Rare metals as well. Looking for duplicates with my stuff.
Yeah. Although down the bottom of that actually, where it's bringing in sulfuric acid and making cryonite slush, that's specifically for me at the moment, but I'm expecting other people to need it later.
It's what I'm thinking is about duplication, etc. And just wondering how
Yeah.
many extra belts do they. Maybe it won't be 100 plus like I was initially concerned about.
No, I
Maybe
don't think it will be, but I
40,
think.
50.
But on the flip side, I also think that the throughput of a green belt is going to be more than sufficient for our needs.
Yeah.
I think a blue belt would only just be struggling.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think you're on. Yeah, I think you're right. I'm going to need a signal receiver down here. Oh, ha, Tristan. The rails aren't wide far enough apart to put signal receivers in between them.
Put them down below.
Above.
But I suppose it's still.
Oh, there isn't room above. Below is where the belts are going to come from, but I suppose they're going to be able to. A green is going to be able to go underneath them, but
The problem is they are wider than the rail plus the warehouse.
Yes, they are. They are rail plus warehouse plus half of the next rail. So
I mean, they could go up in this area, and
they could. They'd have to be above and below or staggered or something, and then it's annoying
Yeah.
it's annoying to cable them in at that point because you have to each receiver has to have its own sort of set of pylons to go down. It's not the end of the world, but
as long as they're placed there in advance, rather than now I have to squeeze a pylon in somewhere. Then
it's not the end of the world.
so
I
bad.
know, but
Could expand the stations out further.
yeah, I'm trying to decide whether it's worth it. I think it probably is. We could just delete every other station and then build more on the end of it. That's going to reduce the amount of effort to expand it. I'll start doing that.
No, you end up taking up huge amounts of space, and everything takes a lot longer. Then
There's quite a lot of space available down here.
the trains have to go a lot further as well.
Yeah. Don't
It's
feel that bothered. I'm not that bothered by trains having to go a little bit further. I don't think the speed of a train has ever been a limit on my throughput in Factorio.
So look, chaps.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I'm trying to work out where I can put this. Oh, there is room between the station and the top loader. But only just. Oh, there's a couple of spare spaces. So there's not a huge amount of space, but there is enough. Just hope we don't make any more errors. Oh well.
Interestingly, the rate limiting step now for catalog 2 production, material catalog 2 production, is how fast the scrap can be taken away from here.
Yep. That's material science for you.
Yeah.
It's not even the train one.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Yeah,
Looking
it's
at
not
the
even
sheer
train
amount of
one,
scrap coming out there, have you had... It looks like you've been backing up on scrap and then you're trying to get rid of an excess of it.
Yeah, scrap's been backed up for ages.
Which
Well,
means
back
it's
in-
not representative of
Yeah, exactly. So
normal.
once it
okay.
finishes chucking out all of the scrap, you might find that it's something is that I don't think the sheer amount of scrap you produce from which one is this pressure containment data is going to be the limiting factor here. You're either going to be limited by the back pressure of the number of data cards you've got coming through, or you're going to have space on the belt once it gets
Mike,
into a sort of settled position.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I have the blue goo on both sides?
it's an input and output.
It's an input-output.
Oh,
He's not ruining it, he's just blowing up the thing he's putting it in.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, because it uses a huge amount of it, doesn't it? And then it gives you nearly all of it back. So yeah, I remember.
6,000 in gives you 990 back.
Yeah.
I think I remember the hard part about this being
Interesting.
this particular one being the throughput of the cosmic water, rather than the amount of scrap you produce.
So the way that works is over here you've got the tank, which has some space in it naturally, that it'll only ever get topped up when the amount of blue goo goes low.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
sure.
that part's trivial. So that's fine. It's just the amount of piping needed to get 1,000 cosmic water from one side of the machine to the other. That I think last time I had to do a little bit of shenaniganery to get that to work fast, to get the fluid to flow through fast enough.
Fair enough. I don't recall it ever being an issue, but fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah, Mike, you need a lot more scrap belts.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're basically you barely even have one pair of machines
Yeah.
running.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's just full.
Yeah, but I mean, all 3 belts of from him are full.
I'm
So
trying to
all the
work out
output-
if this is because Mike is producing data cards faster than he needs to be for the amount of science we're attempting to do. Whether he's whether he's just overbuilt, or whether he's and that's why there's too much scrap coming through, and then eventually the factory will go to sleep because we'll have enough material science catalogs, or whether it is actually just producing that much scrap and we need twice as much scrap disposal.
Given that this bit here's gone to sleep already, so half of it is offline.
Yeah, so I suspect that implies that you're producing the science catalogs faster than they're needed.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing, merely that merely that
It means
be
we get to ignore you anytime you complain about there not being enough scrap uptake.
yeah, basically.
Yeah. I just need to basically send you trains worth of the stuff as well. Just keep dumping it in as fast as I can.
I mean, we are going to have the capacity to capability to deal with that, I suppose. Yes, if you could. That's a thought, actually. Yes, you could fill up all of the trains that come in, bringing you stuff to make your material testing packs with scrap to send it back down to Norvis to be processed.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Why chuck everything onto a massive belt other than buffering storage, etc. Only to have it taken away from a train down there when I'm going to have trains coming to me as it is.
Where was I? Oh yes, Norvis. I was sort of staring at this, wondering if how much of it's going to get built. Not most of it, apparently. Might need to extend the Roboport network for that. But also, yeah. The other thing is, we've got all these stations up top. I mean, actually, looking at the coal station specifically, it does have a balancer on the way out of it, so I could just pull a belt out of that. But it's doing the 4 warehouse thing, and there's probably somewhere in the region of 15,000 coal in there. So it's not going to be just tell the bots to go in and consolidate it down into a single warehouse, because it'll take forever.
Yeah, all of those need to be
drained.
The what's name batteries, I've done that fix for.
Right.
Because it was basically empty.
Fair enough.
It needs to be.
Oh yes, so you have.
Done for
Yeah,
them,
and
really.
I did the aeroframe scaffolds when I built it, but that was because that was late enough after everything else that I still could. I'll pull a belt off. I'll pull a blue belt off the balancer for now.
Yeah.
So this is a top one, isn't it? Yeah, these are the top drop-off stations. So that means that wants to go into the first thing. Oh, that's here. Okay, I overextended that a little bit. Let's go down here, I think. And that should be able, with blue belts, yeah, I can easily get through all of that. And I don't need most of the
Do you
things either.
deliberately have those in set columns?
That was my idea, yes. I thought we'll have the columns, there's room for expansion, but the columns initially would be one column from the top row of stations, one column from the middle, and one column from the bottom row of stations.
I see. Sure. So I had to remove your Roboport because you put it in the way of the unloading of not scrap.
Okay.
I've put it in down below. Not sure where exactly those are going currently, but there's a rapid unloading of all of them.
Oh, this Roboport's in the way now.
Move it.
Yeah.
That's just one of the grid ones.
Yeah, that's fine. And I should put in a splitter here just in case anyone else wants a massive quantity of coal. There we go, and then and a loader, and then control circuitry, but that can't happen until things have been built. There we go. Right, so that's coal coming in, apart from the really big, massive, obvious gap. But that'll be fixed once this Roboport gets placed, and then I'll bop them across here for building purposes, I guess, and we can just go underneath them. That's not going to be too difficult. Okay, so that's my first resource. So there was that one. We're going to need liquid stations down here, or fluid stations technically down here on the space deployment train networky swappy overy thing.
Yes.
Of doom.
That is going to be a train handover, essentially.
Yeah, there's not really any other way to do that.
I kind of want it to be a direct train to train handover.
That would be
Probably
quite cool.
Silly.
I assume that a fluid pump will only connect to one train at a time.
Yeah, because it has the swinging arm thing.
Yeah.
So logically, it should only be able to.
Yeah. It seems likely. I like the red belts and then the blue belts and then the green belts to get the distances on the underground and so they don't tangle.
Yeah, I was quite happy with that. They're not quite long enough, so I think they could all move right by one, and so the inner one could have the gap of 6.
Oh, is that why you've got 5s? Right, okay.
Yeah. I might change it to only have 5 outputs from each instead of having the splitter.
It does seem more sensible, yeah.
Less fun.
Right, so that was. Is that the only thing I'm putting into my tray? Oh no, there's going to be the these things as well. Aeroframe scaffolds. That's the bunny.
11 o'clock.
Yeah, I think I'm at a point where I'd be fairly happy to stop.
Yes, as.
It'd be good for me to actually get some sleep today.
Oh, why do we not have furnaces?
Is it because we don't have any batteries?
No.
Is it because you've used them all?
It's because energy control units are produced so slowly.
Ah. Right, so let's stop looking at Mike's
Oh,
stuff.
because we don't have any beacons. Why do we not have any beacons on Norvis?
Normal beacons?
Yeah.
Don't know.
I was requesting a bunch for
Glass.
conversion into wide area beacons, but that's I don't know, like 250.
Should be alright.
Still requesting 85 over to Norvis. To the rocket, sorry.
Glass. Oh, glass
Where
is
are they produced?
not usable. Well, actually, that's not true. It is. This is all nonsense. Stop being silly.
Does anyone know where beacons are produced? I think they've been squeezed in somewhere because I started where modules were and didn't see them.
Oh, I don't even know what goes into beacons. There's a fairly high chance it was me who built it. I'm very aware of that, but it doesn't mean I know where it is, I'm afraid.
Oh, no, there's tier 1.
There.
Thank you. Concrete.
Oh,
Why is there no concrete?
I was going to say, I did not know that was a problem, but I can fully believe that it would be.
Yep, no concrete on this.
Mark, didn't you
right,
make
there
a
we
thing
go.
to produce enormous quantities of concrete?
Yes.
Yes, and
But
so
didn't
they're,
get put onto the bus?
they're not going onto the bus.
No, but there is a concrete producer on
They're
the bus
going into
here.
storage, and therefore the logistic check to see how much is in storage to limit production.
Oh no.
So
Hang on,
belt
why are they going
feeding
into
this chest
why are they going into logistic storage?
so that people like Mark can pave the world with it.
No, but
And
Oh no, I
my-
meant.
and any
Oh right, yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, but my new town doesn't put any. Oh, yes, it does, of course. Oh yeah.
Of course, that's still bad. Even
Nah.
Mark didn't cause the problem. He just exposed it. No, I'm not blaming you, Mark. I'm saying that you've just exposed.
No, no.
That system there would mean that if for some reason we ended up with a massive quantity of concrete in the logistics system,
Yep.
so it wouldn't. No, hang on. Wait, what?
well, we didn't have green chests at the time it was put down.
Yeah, but the
No, my
system we had relied pretty much entirely on basically people not just chucking stuff into the logistics system and hoping for the best.
So hang on a minute. What did you do to fix it, Tristan?
Untick
Disable
that.
the belt conversion.
Oh right, okay.
that
Yeah, gotcha. Right. So that means yes. If a load of concrete got into the logistics system, it would have broken this system. This I feel is a bad design.
So ideally, that would be a green chest. When that was made, there was no such thing as a green chest.
Yeah. No, Teeman, solar power is good for UPS because it is a very, very simple calculation for the game to work out compared to everything else, which requires pumping large quantities of fluid around. So solar power is the least UPS impactful of any sort of power generation method. You can have a massive field like this, and all the game has to do is go, okay, well that's a 285 kilowatts, multiply it by the number of solar panels there are, and boom, you've got your answer. You've got the amount of power that's being generated. Whereas something like this system, you're pumping water in to grow the trees, then you're pumping then you're passing the trees around on the belts, then you're pumping steam through here and oxygen through here and biomethanol through here, and all those fluid handling shenaniganeries build up on to put a massive impact on your UPS. So yeah, no, solar is about as good as it gets. Nuclear is somewhere in the middle between those two extremes. And yeah, there obviously are many other options as well. Sorry, I interrupted.
I've got the furnaces being made again. So I need them to arrive before I send my rocket off.
Okay.
Yeah, those
One of the belts didn't get moved across when you copied and pasted, or cut and pasted.
Sure. I will leave that for you to figure out how to fix.
Okay. I would have fixed it, but it was funny enough. I wanted to point it out first.
Yeah. Yeah, I must have grabbed just to the left of that, so I got the splitter.
Yeah.
To try and avoid the rail.
Yeah. Who keeps on doing that and redoing it? I would like that belt to get built so I can put a cable onto it. Stop it, Mike. We're going to have to ban you from the server.
Yeah, well, you know.
Before too many of these belts the belts won't get built. Laurence, you're quite close to that warehouse, which means you're going to be limited to 6 things or so, slightly more, coming in.
True.
If these belts along here were lower down, you could have a merging area.
That's true.
Like going to the rocket. I say that and just continue to build.
That wasn't me. That was Mike as usual, because you can tell because someone was being difficult.
No. That's just casually, happily building along before realizing what you're talking about.
Yeah. All right. Let's drop this all. Let's drop the whole thing down. Now your vertical belt is fine. Let's drop this.
Backing it up to create a bit of space here. It's rare for a bit of additional space to be a bad thing.
Okay.
Once stuff gets moved around and sorted out.
That's my idea, essentially.
Off by one.
Off by one. Yeah. I don't care. I'll put in some more landfill.
Past 11, chaps. Are we going to call it here?
Yes, I think we should. Let me just finish putting these in. I kind of want to, that belt you keep. Oh, it's arrived now. I was going to say that belt you keep deleting and to be annoying. I kind of wanted to do something with that first, so I didn't forget what I was in the middle of. But I'll do that now, like that. And now, yes, I think this is probably a good point to stop. Yeah, I suppose we could build those in as well, but essentially about here. Okay, so yes, thank you very much to everyone who's been watching. If you're new here, perhaps on that raid or whatever else, then please make sure you follow, because I'll be back again next Monday doing some more streaming. And as always, there will be the Friday and Saturday videos where I shall talk a bit about what we've been doing and why we've been doing it and what on earth has been going on throughout this entire stream. On Wednesday, I shall be streaming again. Not playing Factorio then. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to play at the moment. It may go for some more Kerbal, because I left one of my Kerbals in a rather awkward position in orbit around Minmus last time, and he kind of needs rescuing. Or maybe I'll play one of the other games that did quite well in the voting on the Discord server when I was talking about it a couple of weeks back. Oh, sorry, no, I won't be back next Monday. Next week there won't be any streams because 2 of us will be on holiday. So that's just, not going to happen, I'm afraid. But the week after that, we should be back as normal. There's videos coming out tomorrow. If you're a supporter, we're continuing with Marc's investigation of Pyanodons, which is all very exciting. And if you're not a supporter, then you'll get to see last week's video of... I can't remember what I did last week. Was it the space bus? No, it wasn't the space bus. I can't remember. You'll have to check it out tomorrow when it gets released. So yes, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you'll come along next time, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.
Bye, guys.
Right.